It's Saturday, I think. Unless it's Friday. No, it's Saturday. 50-50. Saturday night's all right for streaming. Get a little donations in. Yeah. So forth. I'm not sure. Oh, my camera's not working. That's funny. I wonder if you can hear me. I think you can hear me. Yeah, I forgot I have to unplug my camera and plug my camera in. I'm assuming you can hear me, though. Yeah, even the guys at chess.com were confused about my camera. Because they said a lot of times the camera isn't working when you open OBS, and they told me 2 or 3 tricks to do. Those tricks didn't work. But Karen and I do the same trick. I unplug the camera, plug it back in. Then I go to the camera and I go to a different camera. Then I go to the correct camera. And then it always works. And nothing else ever works. The reason I thought the camera would be on is because like 5 hours ago when I made the chess.com video, I went and I changed everything to stream. And, you know, camera was working. Then I left and came back and the camera don't work anymore. I don't understand. You know, maybe the camera wasn't working. I just thought it was because I saw myself. Maybe that was it. Hey, everybody. I knew I needed you for the recap. Yeah. Curious Chimpanzee subscribed to Tier 1. Thank you. Briggs Keith subscribed at Tier 1. Thank you. And Manmoth subscribed at Tier 1. All right, I'm going to refresh because that means the train has started. And I'm going to get a wipe for my glasses. And you know, the train and so forth. Mainly and so forth. Hello. Karen's coming with Archer. And so they'll be here in 5 minutes. If you hear really weird, loud noises, it's not me. It usually is, but not this time. Really bad thunderstorms. There's even like warnings on the TV, like roar. Sometimes the thunder's really loud. Sometimes. Yeah, the dogs are like, what is this? It was raining a lot today. I turned on Family Guy, and the weather reporter said it's going to rain. So I was like, all right. That's where I get my weather from. Family Guy. Have I ever been to Barry's Bagels? I have been to Barry's Bagels. You know, maybe like once or twice in Ann Arbor, maybe once or twice in Toledo. There's a lot of Barry's Bagels. Thanks for the 200 centidues, Curious Chimpanzee. Yeah, saying Barry's Bagels doesn't help. I have to know what his name is. Although, wait a minute. What is his name? There's a guy who I think it is, because I think he worked at Barry's Bagels. Although that was, 15 years ago. So it's probably not him. Well, I forgot his name, so. Yeah, is he like very skinny? And he has, he's a very light-skinned African-American. He's taller than me. So he's probably like 6 feet and super skinny. You know, this is 15 years ago. But I think he worked at Barry's Bagels. Unless I'm imagining that. Yeah. Ever had Gus's Pretzels? Maybe. You mean Gus Fring? Hey, don't forget about the train. I'm 5'8". And unlike everybody else on Earth who tells you their height, I am 5'8". Ask anybody their height, take 2 to 4 inches away after they answer you. It's like when you ask somebody their rating, take 2 to 400 points away. People just, I think they're lying to themselves. They don't even know they're lying. It's just, everybody's insane. Halmir24 subscribed. Yeah. When does the sub battle start? Oh my God, I better get on that. 100 centidues from P. Buena. You're rated 100? Liar! You've never played a game before. You're not rated. Yeah. You're rated F6. No, that's the worst rating you can have. Yeah, all the NBA players are lying about their height. Yep. Everybody's 7 feet tall until you measure, then it's like 6'9", 6'10". But they're 7 feet until you do that. Everybody's lying about everything. Because how are you going to call them on it? What are you going to do? Warbler88 subscribed. Jonathan Andrews is Asian. That's not the most Asian name I've ever heard. Yeah. That's right. Andre the Giant was 9 feet tall and he was 10,000 pounds. Yeah, exactly. I'm Ahmad. Such Sweet Thunder subscribe. Yeah, there's a lot of thunder here. Let's see. What do I got? Moobot Blitz rating. What? What's happening? Yeah. Kobe. Yeah, I can hear it raining. Man, I still can't see. It's probably a me problem. Yeah, so we'll be on Chess TV tonight from 9 to 11 Eastern, which is in about 11, 12 minutes. And I'll start the game analysis about 9:05. I'll analyze until we're done analyzing. I'm guessing 10:30, but it could be later. It's not going to be earlier. And then, I say that. And then Karen's going to hang out the whole stream, or most of it. Maybe the whole stream. Yeah, I think the whole stream. And then the last 40 minutes or so, I'm just going to talk nonsense like I like to do. Somebody has to talk nonsense, so probably should be me. All right, we're dying on level 2. We need 200 centidues to get to level 3. I donated if it helped, but they don't count when I donate. 200 centidues or 1 sub in the next 10 seconds. What does that say? Go Ben, in all caps. 200 centidues, Lost in Hollywood with like 1 second left. Good job. You're the best person who ever lived. Concorded subscribed. Most people tune in for the nonsense. If you want good chess, watch any other stream. You know. Eric's better than me. Amon's better than me. Caro's better than me. Bartholomew's better than me. Rosen's probably better than me. Magnus is better than me. Let's see. There's like 20 streamers that Benjamin Bach's better than me. If you want a good chess, you're not watching this stream. However, none of them can do nonsense like me. The chess bros try, but trying is the first step to failure. They actually watch me for nonsense. Robert E630 is gifting 5 subs. Good. Complete respawn. Is that a respite? 100 centidues. I'm poor. Here's my money. I was poor before you were born. How is Eric better than you? He's an IM. I mean, your title doesn't determine how good you are at chess. That determines what your title is. Most GMs are better than most IMs. Most IMs are better than most FMs, etc. Mainly, etc. 2 for 17 subscribed. Analog Fiddler subscribed. About half the people watching this stream are better than a grandmaster. Which grandmaster? There's one grandmaster that like half of you are better than now. You weren't better than him in his peak, but it ain't his peak. Let's see. Bobby Fischer, spelled wrong. Nope, not a dead one. One who's alive. Ken West, Ginger GM, Gus. Bobby Fischer, spelled wrong again. Damn. Guys don't know how to spell Fisher. 2 for 17 subscribed. Analog Fiddler, I already said that, but I forgot. Yuri Averbach is correct. Yuri Averbach is 99. That's a good age. Yeah, Yuri Averbach, there's good and there's not good. He's not good at chess. Also, I would guess Spassky's not too good. Spassky's not in great health, and he's pretty old. Hey, Siri, how old is Boris Spassky?
Boris Spassky is 84 years old.
Yeah, he's not in good health, so some of you are probably better than Spassky, too. But Averbach, Yeah, you're better than Averbach. Yeah. 99's pretty good. Yeah. Have I ever played in Canada? I mean, I was brought up in Detroit, so I've played in Canada, rated chess like 30 tournaments. When is Tigran El Petrosian going to swoop into the candidates tournament? Well, he's like 26, 40 FIDE, so never. Hey Siri, would the gawking rabble on my stream beat Grandmaster Boris Spassky? It says gawking Rambo. That's funny. Siri couldn't understand about gawking Rambo. Terrible. Have you played in Ireland? I've never been to Ireland, Wales, Northern Ireland, or Scotland, but I have been to England. I did used to live in a cottage in the Isle of Wight, and that's because Karen and I scrimped and saved. There were some grandchildren there on my knee. Do you know who they were, Karen?
No.
Really? You really don't know? Vera, Chuck, and Dave. Hopefully you know what I'm doing. Really? The Beatles.
Oh.
In the Isle of Wight, if it's not too deep, we shall scrimp and save. Grandchildren on your knee, Vera, Chuck, and Dave. Dun, 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 dun. I could be handy playing some chess with my right arm. Dun, 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 dun. I could move the mouse this way or that way. Probably I'll be blundering my pieces away. Winning on time, choking on my own rage. Who could ask for more? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 54? Whew. I'm not going to be 64. So. I think the over-under for me is about 63. Yeah, that's the over-under. You can bet either way. Karen's over-under is like probably 80. So she's got a lot of time left. Samuel Mayfield gifted 5 subs. And B Main Guy gifted 5 subs. I mean, you guys are great. So if I was you, I would get myself all dolled up for like 10, 12 years from now when Karen's a widow, and then, get some of that MILF action. Or I guess it's GILF by then. Well, I'm not on Chess TV yet. Averbach played chess with like a 3-year-old and lost because he was winning and he blundered his queen or something. Samuel Mayfield, I don't know if I mentioned you, but thanks for the 5 subs. Yeah, I'm not going to be 64. That's not going to happen. I've never been to Bulgaria. What's happening? It's called rain.
Yeah, I found one.
There's like thunderstorm warnings and we're all going to die. So donate quick because I'm going to die soon because of the thunder and the lightning and the rain. Karen saw Paul McCartney in concert when he was 64 and sang When I'm 64. And I saw him when he was 70, I think. He was either 70 or 74. I saw him in St. Louis about 5 years ago. All the chess people went. I mean, not all of them, but, most of them. It was in Rex's box, and there was like 30 of us. Yeah, he was great. I also saw Sting when he was pretty old, about 7 years ago, and he was great. Frankly, great.
Probably have to turn the lights on.
Have to do what?
Turn some lights.
I didn't turn the lights on because I figured, you would do that and then people would complain and, like that. Let's see. Saw some live action pictures. The Candidate. You look 50. I'm 51. So close. Mm-hmm. Attending one of your classes on my bucket list. Man, that's not a good bucket list. Damn. A better bucket list. Ben Finegold approved girlfriend. I don't know what that means. Old age isn't for wimps. the song should we sing in 12 years to seal the deal? Anyone knows the girl on the right who's not Ifan? Type exclamation mark pictures and so forth. Yeah, that's Juwenjun. And my favorite pairing ever, am I on Chess TV yet? Because I'm going to get banned for saying this. My favorite pairing ever was when Pakidze played Juwenjun. Because it was Nazi versus Jew, and revenge was had. I was rooting for Nazi, because America. It was in the Olympiad, but she lost to Jew. Yeah. Say is a nice song. Sting is great. Zoom out the camera even more? That's a Karen question. What? She said no. That's a Karen answer.
Well, I might zoom it out when I sit there because then it's too crowded. But if it's zoomed out too much, actually, it is.
Karen was at Starbucks today. They made her drink wrong, and she almost destroyed the store. She called the police. She took her mask off, and she was like, "Rawr!" When the police showed up, they said, "Ma'am, you're in a lot of trouble." And she said, "Hello, my name is Karen." And they said, "Oh, okay," and they left.
Like that. Well, because
They left.
I would zoom it back in. I'm not sure.
I didn't do anything.
It just didn't save the last setting.
Who? Oh, you don't like that? But you're going to be on the camera.
It's junk. The point is, I think it's.
They want to see even more.
Your head only goes.
I know.
Yeah, it just doesn't look right.
Yeah. Karen hates the way the camera's set up.
It's just because.
Have you ever beat Fabiano, and how old was he?
Junkie.
Yes, and he was 11 or 12.
Oh,
He was like 2270. All right. So what do I do?
You go to yeah.
And go that way.
Yeah. Remember what it's on. You can put that one another time. If it matters that much.
How's that?
Yeah. That might be that's too much.
Too much?
Too much spin. Well, I mean, I have to get in there.
185 is what it's usually on before they changed everything. This is the way it used to be, 185.
Right there?
Yeah,
Yeah, that looks
I
about
can make
right.
it bigger or smaller.
I mean, you can maybe go back, like, put it on 180.
Just a second.
Yeah, that looks fine.
Okay.
What are you doing?
You said 180.
All right. Let me come sit down. Maybe if you sat up.
Like this?
It's gonna be that kind of stream.
Huh? All right. Sting. Let's see.
Yeah, you look good. See?
Sting has more money than Adams in the universe, though. So somebody in the chat earlier said Say is a good Paul McCartney song. And I was just wondering if I should ban them or time them out or call a hitman. What do you think? What do they deserve?
It's not my favorite.
That's Michael Jackson too, right? Yeah, that's the most... I don't even know what to call that song. Fluff. Yeah. Yeah, Fluff is good. Right? Yeah. I had to explain to Karen a few days ago what a fluffer was. And then she said, I don't understand. So then I said, here, come here. Daft Punk's new single, Get Lucky. Boo. Very cool new camera. Thank you. Hey, Jew. MJ and Paul did a great video for Say. What are you doing? Aren't you sitting with me?
Yeah.
Then what are you doing?
Well, this is up and so that I can see the chat when I look.
Please don't speak that way. Brother scare hornet's nest. What? Yeah, the recap's over. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Okay, we're on Chess TV. We just got on. Yeah, the recap starts when I want to start it. I got to read the chat. I mean, I saw him like 7-8 years ago, so I don't know. Let's see. That's a Karen move. Man, they don't like Karen. Like, somebody said that's a Karen move, and they held it. Because, like, Karen, you know. Wife of Super Grandmaster Benjamin Finegold. I'm a Super Grandmaster? Wow. I'm super. Thanks for asking. Give Karen what she wants. 45-degree angles. You think you're being acute, but Karen always says I'm obtuse. It's funny when he said that in Shawshank Redemption, that you're being obtuse, and then he put him in the hole. Then Family Guy made fun of it, and he says you're being obtuse, and he says, what about now? And he says, well, now you're being acute. It was funny. I love the new camera. The camera is cracking. God damn. Too much Ben. Thanks for the new camera. You've been suspicious of people playing Theory when you play the Stafford Gambit. Naroditsky made a video on how to refute the Stafford. You brought back the old camera. Ugh. Did a 360. You spin my head right round like a record, baby. Right round, round, round. Joe Corroco subscribed. Something. Thanks.
Man, I can't stand this dark mode. How do you turn that off
What do you mean?
on this computer?
Do you mean like you mean like on my stream?
No.
Oh, okay.
I figured I'd just Google it.
1 minute until Chess TV. Oh, that was like 10 minutes ago. Were you tucking your shirt? What? I opened Twitch and saw Ben having a stroke. What is going on? That was a mini stroke. Mini stroke. Stroke. Heart attack. Mini stroke. Family Guy. Competitive Muff Diver just subscribed. That's a competition? Man. We have less viewers than usual, Karen, because the Village Idiot Convention is going on right now. And one of my most popular viewers is the keynote speaker. So everybody is going there.
What do you mean?
Hikaru needs you as a second real bad. Man, I can't believe Wesley's playing like such a dog in some of the games. Then he beat Pragnananta. Hey, hey, hey. He resigned. And he beat Mamedyarov. And then he lost, to Gawain Jones. You want to lose to Gawain Jones, you got to try really hard. I mean, like, spot him a queen, and then, put yourself in immense pain. Maybe if you're like 8.5 months pregnant, maybe, but I doubt it.
Okay.
Stings like a butterfly, floats like when I pee.
Here.
What?
I said I'm finally here.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Chess TV. It's the Ben and Karen show. Man, I'm so, behind in the chat.
Mm-hmm. That's why I've got my own over here.
Magnus commented with chess bra. That is correct. That was pretty boring.
What was boring?
Magnus and Eric Hansen. It's like, who's more boring? What do you think?
Between who?
Magnus and Eric
I
Hansen.
don't think they're boring. But who's more boring? If I gotta pick one?
They're both the two most boring streamers. What are you talking about?
I don't agree.
Who's more boring than them on Earth?
I can say, but I'm not gonna.
Exactly.
Who's more boring? Let me think. Man, I'm not gonna pick.
Yeah, she can't. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Uh, Man, I gotta like go past all this. It's just too
I don't
much.
think they're boring.
Thanks, Robert E630 for gifting the sub. Narratives, great. He's great. I'm skipping all the chat because that's too much chat. Somebody donated all,
Recap.
Not only does Yasser call Tall Michael tall, so did Larry Evans. I don't know, probably too much drugs or something, be my guess. You like competitive muff divers handle?
Competitive muff
Diver.
diver.
2 bishops of what else gifted 5 subs. Karen wants to know what your email is, so I don't know. Eric, I know Eric. I love Eric Hansen too. What am I gonna do?
I don't think he's boring. So
Thanks to bishops of what else. They keep asking for Hot Tub Ben.
I already said I think it's my favorite. This is my favorite channel besides yours.
What is?
Chess Bra channel.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their channel's good because they're singing and dancing and playing music. With Magnus, they didn't do that. They just sat there and went,
I know,
"Oh."
but you said in general you were trying to say Eric's.
No,
boring.
they were saying Eric and
Well,
Magnus
today it
wasn't
was-
that good. No.
I thought it was awkward because
Yeah.
there were some pauses. And now here's what my interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Eric was trying not to step on Magnus's toes, but he could tell that Magnus didn't know what the hell he was doing with regards to streaming.
I mean, I would have destroyed Magnus. He probably would have just quit chess.
No, Magnus was
Yeah.
not really worrying about it. He wasn't as professional, but I loved.
Man, I would have
see
made
him.
fun of Magnus. It would have been the great. And then he would have said, "What happened when we played?" And then
Yeah.
I come back from that. Well.
All right.
Oh yeah, if I collab with Magnus and Magnus is boring, it's gonna be the funniest thing ever. He might leave
I mean,
because he's never been teased so much. He's like, what's happening? Why is Ben saying these things to me?
No, Eric knows how not to
Yeah.
be boring. He just didn't want to step on Magnus's toes. I think he was probably thinking, "Come on, Magnus, and say something." So I think he was trying to give him a little space and let him
Yeah.
go.
Also, we're on Chess TV, so I'm not allowed to talk about Magnus streaming because I'll be banned and my children's children. Also, I'm kidding. All right. That's right. He objected. Yeah, I object. Okay, let's start the show. All right. So, as you all know, there were 4 decisive games today in the candidates. And there were 4 games. So 4 decisive games is a lot. And I could go into a long spiel forever about chess isn't boring and good players aren't too good. That's not what it is. Some players like drawing and some don't. And when you need to win, you see a lot of wins. And when it doesn't matter very much, you see a lot of draws. For example, Karen doesn't know this. In the Magnus tournament today, 2 of Hikaru's games, unless it was 3, I think it was 2, might have been 3, out of 5, were that same draw that he always plays he always plays the same draw. So
You
the
showed it to
games
me.
take like 30 seconds.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Maybe he was tired.
Tired. It was like round 2. But, yeah, no, if he's black and the guys want to draw, he's like, all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you don't want to draw and you want to win, you can win, as we saw in all 4 games today. All right. Everybody like scores on me, right? Especially Karen. And they say, players are much better today. That's why Magnus only wins tournaments by half a point. His competitors are so good that, Kasparov and Fischer and Karpov didn't have those kind of competitors. And then I watch the Rapid today, and Wesley So blunders on move 10 and resigns on move 15. And I'm like, yeah, they're much better today. What? All right. Okay, so let's see about these great players you're talking about. Okay, we'll do this first. I've looked at the games, but I haven't analyzed them with a fine-tooth comb because Karen doesn't have one of those. What kind of teeth are on your comb?
Wide tooth?
Yeah, it's wide tooth. So, I don't have a fine-tooth comb. What can I tell you? They draw because they have to prepare for certain players. Ban draws and their children's children. Yeah. Okay, So this is the first game we're going to analyze. Liren versus Alexander Grischuk. Grischuk me all night long. Oh. Okay, so Ding's white. They played 1 billion moves of theory. They played the bishop f4 QGD, which you will see Hikaru have with both sides. At the same time sometimes. It's pretty good. All right, and this is one of the main lines. There's a million games in this position. And usually Hikaru's black, but sometimes he's white in these positions. All right, and it's about equal. Yeah, Hikaru likes to play bishop a6. Okay, and then it's just blocked position and nobody's doing anything. That's what the super GM's like. Probably Grischuk's thinking a long time. Okay, so he cemented his bishop on c4 instead of on a6. I actually never seen this. Usually white's taking on a6 or black's taking on d3. I've never seen bishop c4 and b5. Never. It's just equal because it's very blocked. Yeah, it's all blocked up. Exactly. Now, the engine prefers black. The reason is it doesn't see how white proceeds, and it says, well, black has the A file completely dominated, so I like black. But, that's not true. The position's like just equal. And obviously, white can do something. Now, what happened was a lot of super GMs would know this is equal and just make random moves that draw, because there's nothing you can do. But Grischuk wants to win, even when he's black. And Liren is having a very bad tournament. So when he's white, he would like to win also. So luckily, the players didn't just move around and draw. They actually tried something. Unfortunately,
trying is the first step
to failure. Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah, but this is obviously not a bishop here, bishop here. Are you kidding me?
Hey, did you want to put the microphone over here or no?
Oh, yeah. Je regrette, mais je
It's so
forget.
loud. Doesn't matter for you.
I'm what? All right. Thanks to Riska83. Good. Yeah, but if you play g4, g5, that's no good. Because you're going to lose your f-pawn and cry like a grandmaster. Then you open up your king, and so forth. Okay, so nothing's happening. The movie's over. Everybody seems pissed. I got to tell you something funny, because Karen likes when I interrupt. So, a couple of days ago, and/or yesterday, I forgot, we saw a movie, and Karen said, this movie's the worst. Rawr. She was furious. Anyway, today, we were in the living room, or family room, I don't know, and I turned on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, which is a show she doesn't like. And I said, what's worse, that movie or this show? And she surprised me. She said, this show. Man, did she hate that movie. She was really mad. I couldn't believe she hates the Diners. Okay. Bishop d8. So nobody's doing anything. It's all zeros. The engine says all zeros every move. So nothing's happening.
I don't hate Guy. I just think he's gross. I don't want to watch the meeting. I don't even like cooking. So it's just not my thing.
All right. So white finally does something, but the engine doesn't like it. It doesn't think it's gonna work, and then white's king's gonna be exposed. So now it likes black's position a little bit. Doesn't like that move. Never play f3. Although it does like f3. Yeah, now he could have done Aleksenk's gun with queen a8, which is the computer recommendation, because it keeps this pawn defended twice, and you triple up on the bubble up. But instead he penetrated without having the proper prophylaxis. That's dangerous. And after he did that, he realized what he had done, right? So he took a pregnant pause. And that's like 3 jokes.
I should drink my beer before it gets hot.
I know Super Scion. The number of people who understand that joke, those jokes I made, is like the Dennis Miller ratio. Only 1 in a million people get the joke. Okay. Rook A2, still equal. Alekine's gun, still equal, still equal, still equal. Dead draw. He played Rook A3. What kind of move is that, according to John Nunn?
Collinear.
Correct. The engine prefers another collinear move, Rook A4. It says it's completely equal. It doesn't like this move as much. Queen D2 defending the B pawn. Yeah, I don't understand this move. He's obviously stopping knight takes, but this just gives him a terrible position. You should just retreat and then say, what are you going to do? And, probably it's still a draw, but, white has achieved something on the king side. But after this, now it's probably not a draw. Yeah, D takes is excellent. A low-rated player would do that without thinking, and now it's all blocked up, right? Then it's just equal. The reason this is good, if you remember Steinitz von Bartoleben, and I'm sure you do, from 1895, what square does this give white, which heretofore he did not have?
Oh, I see that D4 was...
Yeah, and this is really good. That's the goodest. Then when you do that, you have all these pawns on the king side, and you can start pushing, right? Push pawns, not drugs. Okay, so D takes, and then bishop takes E5 is just terrible. And he wasn't in time trouble. It's move 42. So, I mean, this is terrible. Yeah, and now he's just lost. Yeah. So he knew he was lost. He knew if he did nothing, knight would come here, attacking this. Black would make a passive move defending it. And then white would start rolling over here. So he played F6, which makes his position worse. And he played E5. He's just gone crazy. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, what would Patsy Cline say about F6, E5, E4?
Crazy?
Yeah, yeah. So when Homer called the insane, when Marge called the insane asylum, because Homer was in there, this is an episode. Michael Jackson's in this episode, by the way. She says, my husband's there, and what's happening? And she says, hold, please. And they play crazy. And when it's on hold, she starts crying.
Oh.
Okay, then another episode, Homer calls the police because Maggie's missing. And Marge left for the weekend, and he lost Maggie. Calls the police and said, my baby's missing. They're like, hold, please. And they put on the music, Baby Come Back. Baby Come Back. And they start saying, oh, God. So anyway, they find the baby. Chief Wiggum hands him the baby.
Yeah.
And he's going to arrest Homer for negligence. Homer says, oh, my God, thank you, and kisses Chief Wiggum like 10 times. He says, oh, all right, just don't do it again. And he walks away. He liked when Homer was kissing him. Okay, Queen C3, double exclam plus tax. Now, if I was white, I'd be playing this move all day. And I would be like, what are you doing? And the answer, you ready for the answer? Knight F6. And I would have been like, oh. And white's still winning, but this is terrible. Because that wins for black. This isn't bad. Here comes the queen. White's winning because white's so many pawns up, but now it's tough. And he's like, this is your only hope is this queen. So he went here, defending his pawn on the 7th rank, stopping knight F6, and black has nothing here. If black moves the queen away, this pawn can be captured, this pawn saved, and the knight can't move anywhere. However, if he takes the queen, knight takes, he's down like a million pawns. So the engine says +4, +5. That's a queen C3, he resigned. Very accurate move. The normal looking move, now it's tough. Now there's a lot going on. So this was great, queen C3. It stops all of black's play. So Ding played a good game. The game probably should have been a draw, but Grischuk went too far. A lot of guys do that because they want to win. And I don't know if Ding's in clear last anymore. He probably isn't. Yeah. And so forth. Let's see. I don't even know what that means. Grischuk isn't in time trouble. It's in the 40s. Yeah. Niles Monkey Man subscribed. I wonder if he's from Niles, Michigan. Doubt it. He could be. Dennis Miller is good as long as he's interviewing Norm. For $1 trillion, what's Norm's last name? No. This. See the sentence? Dennis Miller is good when he's interviewing Norm. Who's Norm? Thanks, Maximum Speed 1013 for the sub.
McDonald?
Correct. Yes, we're rich.
McDonald, yeah.
Norm McDonald.
Somehow
Norm McDonald had an interview. E-I-E-I-O.
I don't even know who he is. Somehow I pulled it out.
That's right. That was good.
Give me that money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I did it.
Let's see. Don't like the
Ding hasn't been playing well for a while, it seems.
He did good here, and he did well, too. Yeah.
And
now, Ding's having a tough time. Yeah. Maximum Speed, keep crushing F1, Bishop F1. You like betting you're drunk. You like betting you're sober.
Give me that money.
All right. How much?
Yeah, I thought you said $1 trillion.
But I don't have it on me. I'm like George Costanza. I'll give you, how about 200? How's that?
No.
300? I don't have $1 trillion in my wallet. It won't fit.
Okay.
We'll have to go home and get it. All right. It's in the walls or something. I don't know. All right. See a woman turning down $100 bills. Terrible. All right. Have you already? Oh, yeah. I covered all the games. We're done. Spencer's watching the stream from NYC.
Yay.
Go Spencer, but
Hey,
stay there.
Spencer.
Hooray. Man, your cats were pretty chill. I thought they'd be like acting weird. No, they act normal. Like everything's fine. So that was good. We need 52 more subs to get to the magic number.
Yeah.
All right. Math question. Can't ask Holden. Ready?
All right.
How many $1 billion, like 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, how many of those is $1 trillion?
Let's see.
She's my daughter, yeah.
Let me see if I can remember.
Also, if you're in England, the answer might change. But we're in America, so we have, we know what's going on. See, this guy said depends.
1,000?
Correct.
Yeah.
Is that because you looked at the chat?
No.
I know. Yeah. Exactly. He can't do that on Chess TV. Now we're banned.
I looked
Yeah.
at the chat.
What? You didn't?
I know some things.
What do you know?
Some
So
things.
whenever I have kids in a camp and we have free time, I ask the kids, who's good at math? And they all raise their hand. And then I say, okay, what's 1 million take away 1? And their answers are very funny. Very funny. I mean, every answer is funny. Then, if the kids are smarter, which they're not, but if they are smarter, like they might even get it. Then I get the big guns out. You ready for the big guns?
I'm ready.
This is such a big gun. Karen will be like, it's a very simple math question, but the answer is weird. So kids can't get it. No kid can get it that I teach, like elementary school. Ready? You're an adult. Ready?
Oh, you're going to quiz me again?
Yeah. 1 million take away 101. Man, kids are just start crying when I ask them that.
1 million.
Take away 101.
Or let me first just take away 100.
Okay. Good luck.
Let's see. If I have 9.
Make a poll. Will Karen get it on the first guess? Poll. Vote. Vote in the poll. Man, if you see kids' answers to this,
So wait.
oh
So
my God.
900.
I mean, you can't imagine how bad their answers are. It's impossible to understand how bad their answers are.
Take away 101.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know how I made that up, but it's a great question
If
for
I
kids.
take away 100, because that's easier, then it's like 9. Let's see.
Well, that's the
It's
worst-
hard to
that's
do
the
because I've
worst
been
answer-
drinking.
worst
Right,
answer ever.
999.
Yeah, one of the answers is the worst ever.
900. Okay, so that's if I take away 100. So then if I say 900
Your answers are worse than the kids I ask. What's wrong with all of you? Can't you just use a calculator and then
800
pretend that you got it?
899.
Say it again.
$999,899.
Correct.
I did it.
Some of the answers here are just like nuts.
I did it.
Yeah. Like that answer where he's kidding. See?
Fuck all you naysayers.
Man, we're on Chess TV.
I bet there were no naysayers.
We didn't get to vote. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. I did
All right. It's pie. That's also acceptable. Yeah.
And I've been
pie.
drinking too.
That's right. It showed you.
And I still did it.
One time
I don't have a kid going to MIT for no reason.
in band camp, we were in New York hanging out, me and some of my friends. There were like, I don't know, 3 guys and 2 girls. And one of the girls was really drunk. And I said, man, you're really drunk. And she said, no, I'm not. So now you know they're drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, say the alphabet backwards. She's like, fine. Why? And then I'm like, why? She says, oh, okay, maybe I'm drunk.
I would have a hard time doing that.
Yeah, but why? It's the first, come on. Okay, right, because for Americans it's hard. For Canadians, how would they start?
What do you mean?
Start, first letter. Canadians.
To go backwards?
Canadians.
I don't know why you keep saying Canadians.
Okay, well,
like that's going to mean
okay,
something
so
to
let's
me.
go. Let's go.
Z.
No, that's not
They
what
call their alphabet a different thing?
They call Z a different thing.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and I'll give you a hint. He's dead, baby. He's dead.
I don't know.
Zed. Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Spencer said Zed's dead, baby. What movie?
I don't know.
Pulp Fiction. Okay, back to whatever it is I was doing. Canadians from Windsor say Z. Well, they're not Canadians then.
I've seen Pulp Fiction but once.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't remember.
Okay, now we're going to look at MVL versus Alekseenko. MVL played a unusual opening because, it's over. And Alekseenko say, what? And then after move 10, Alekseenko was lost. He was lost the whole game. Frankly, terrible. Now, many people are saying, referencing Trump there, many people are saying Alekseenko lost on purpose to MVL because he wants MVL to win the tournament. So he was just lost right away and lost with no fight. Also, I'm kidding. Okay.
I don't get it.
What? Oh, some people when I say some people, I'm not grandmasters, the gawking rabble. They accused Alekseenko of losing on purpose to Nepomniachtchi so he'd win the event. Because he was like lost after move 11.
Okay.
This game, he was also lost after move 11. The truth hurts. Okay, so White played the fantasy variation. Okay, what move is the fantasy variation for White here? And don't ever play it.
What move? I don't know.
And don't ever play it.
Oh, don't ever play it. F3?
Correct. Now, there's 2 ways to play against this. You can do Vishwa nothing. That's what Anand does. And just play like E6, knight F6, move the queen, move the bishop, and just say, well, this is ridiculous. And because MVL is French, he wants to transpose to a French. So, for example, after here, we could do this, and you've had this position with black because it's a French. But Alekseenko didn't want to do that because MVL is French. He doesn't want to retreat against a Frenchman. Ridiculous. Okay. So black played the aggressive way, which is takes, and E5. And I know this line, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of what black did, of what white did. I'm sorry. Yeah, black did. That's right. Now, there's an interesting game in this line from, I think it's 2010, but don't quote me. I'm within a year. It's 2009, 10, or 11. I think it's 10. Might be 11. Anyway, it could be 12. There was a game in the U.S. Junior Championship in a playoff. Now, in the U.S. Junior Championship, Shankland lost his first 2 games, and in round 3, he was dead lost, like +5 for his opponent. But he turned it around and won. Then he tied for first. with Ray Robson and somebody you guys haven't heard of. And they had some three-way action, okay? And then I think the cops showed up, but it was fine. Anyway, in the final, Shanklin played Robson because the other guy got knocked out. And this happened. And Ray Robson was white, and he got crushed. He got smashed. So Ray really tried hard to win the playoff, but trying is the first step to failure. I don't know what year it was, 2010, 11. And Shanklin became the U.S. Junior Champion. Frankly, ridiculous. Okay. Now, knight f3. Now, I have a book from before you were born, and the main move was bishop e6. Now, for the audience that's confused, if you take, black wins immediately. What's the winning move for black, Karen? Snake Oil Scrub gifted a sub. Hooray! Go, everybody.
Let's see.
Who is your guest? She was walking outside, and she was, like, crying. And I said, come in. And I told her about my clothing line, and it has new shoes. And she said, I feel terrible. It's raining. But my feet, I can walk in the Himalayan walking shoe. And then she decided to sit down next to me and watch the stream. I don't know what her name is. I just call her Karen because she was crying outside.
I'm not sure. Maybe Queen A5.
Close. By the way, do you know what I was referencing there? Seinfeld. That's when Julia Louis-Dreyfus met Peterman. She was like walking, and then they bumped into each other, and he hired her. Then she made all that long speech.
I can't remember the speech then.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know then.
I told that to Hikaru, and he understood everything. Thanks, Samuel Mayfield, for subscribing. Good. Thanks, Snake Oil Scrub, for gifting a sub. Anybody? I lost miserably. You can have a refund. That is correct. Whose chopper is? What? Turn all these planes on a snake. Yeah. The urban sombrero. That's right.
Congratulations.
On the job, done. That's what Peterman said. That was great. Peterman went to Burma, right? Mm-hmm. And he said, I know it's called Myanmar, but it'll always be Burma to me. And then Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in charge of the catalog. And then she was the president and so forth, many episodes. Then he came back. And he's like, okay, you're relieved and I'm taking over again. She said, stock options? He goes, no. And then he says, thanks for a job, done. Perfect. Okay, so you said this.
I mean, you could do the other check.
That's right. Bam. And this was played first in the famous game. Gotcha versus bitch. So moving your king is shallow and pedantic, but it's forced. Yeah. Because if you go here, you get beat, right? You get beat like when Danny Rensch talks about lead chess. Danny Rensch was trash talking the lead chess guy. Then he made an apology video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was misinformed. And then it was obviously like a lawyer statement. He was reading it. So that was good. Hi, Danny.
What did he apologize for?
I didn't actually see what he said. He was talking like the chess.com, people who founded chess.com and the guy who founded Lead Chess, they're like, that son. They were friends before the sites existed.
Okay.
They were doing stuff together. And then they went their separate ways and built the two best chess sites. And Danny was explaining what happened, and then he had to explain that didn't happen. You know, he was told the wrong stuff. I didn't know that they knew each other and they were working together. I didn't know any of that. Also, I didn't know after Danny said it because I wasn't watching. There's a podcast with Hikaru and Gotham Chess, and they had Danny as their guest. And they were talking about lead chess, and Danny said stuff that wasn't true. Then he made a video saying that wasn't true. This is what's true. Like, he talked to everybody, and they're like, no, that didn't happen. All right. And now we can go on to the next drama. You know, where do I drop this Karen off after the stream? I don't know. Let's see. I didn't know any of that, but I saw it on Reddit today, so I know it's true. Horsey goes L-shaped subscribed.
That was recent? A recent
The
thing?
apology video was today or yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know when the... I didn't watch the podcast. I don't even know what he's apologizing for. Apocalypse Now. The horror. Yeah. So it's funny when Elaine buys an $8,000 hat or $6,000 by accident, they're going to fire her. So she goes to Burma so Peterman can sign that it was okay. And when she's there, this Burma woman comes in and he yells at her in a foreign language and she runs away. And he says, you speak Burmese? And Peter said, no, that was just gibberish. All right. Okay, so you can't do that. And this is reminiscent, obviously, of the variation in the King's Gambit, right? Which I play with black. I play d5, and this loses to this. This is even more losing than the previous example. Yeah. In the King's Gambit, you don't do that unless your knight is here. Then you still don't do it. All right. Okay, so knight f3. Now you can play bishop e6 if you want, but he played this. c3, bishop c4. The thing is, probably Alekseenko knew some stuff, but you don't really study this line because MVL plays the advanced variation every game. So Alekseenko was booked to the teeth on the advanced variation. And he's like, wait, the fantasy variation? Ridiculous. Okay. In Soviet Russia, fantasy plays you. And Karen plays fantasy 5. Okay.
Not much.
Queen c7, I'm not a fan of that. And this is just prepped by MVL. Right, and this looks good for black because this pawn is hanging. And that's probably what Alekseenko thought, that he wouldn't take that. The problem is after bishop f4, taking the pawn isn't very good. There's too much compensation. So he played queen h5, which puts it in h. But the point of Alekseenko's play was he thought this pawn was attacked. But if you take it, white has the two bishops, knight d2. White has 3 pieces out to 1. White has 3 open files. And f7 is very weak. If you play the obvious knight d2, I shockingly take with the king. Right? The first time I saw a shocking move like this on a blue board, I was actually playing chess on Venus.
Yeah.
Did you get any of that?
Maybe. There's that Bananarama. Maybe.
That's the remake.
Yeah. I don't know the name of the other people.
By all the words I said, you could figure it out.
Kinda.
Shocking blue.
Yeah.
1970.
I was half listening.
Yeah.
I was looking at the chess.
That's more than usual. Yeah.
See, I got it.
She was trying to figure out where she's going to sleep tonight. So now I got the 2 bishops. I got some rook coming to e1 check. f7's weak. Black's development is shallow and pedantic. Okay, shallow. So white has a monster advantage. So Alekseenko probably saw that now, and he wanted to keep this pawn here because it's weak, and then you can't attack his king on the e file. Knight d2, castles. And I was really impressed in this position. I've never been so impressed, ever. MVL made a move I would never consider, and the engine said it was great. And I was like, what? The engine said, great move. I would never think of this move. Never. So I was very impressed. $3. It's not Seuss. It's Susie, not Seuss. Elaine and Susie, Susie and Elaine. You ready for this move? I don't think you're ready, because I'm not ready, and I saw it. You watching? Mm-hmm. Rick G1, the engine says that's great. Now, obviously, MVL is familiar with Matt Larson, so he wants to play G4, but it wasn't protected. Now it is. Then it's not clear where to put the queen, and then G5 and E5 are annoying, especially G5, because it doesn't get D5. And if you take the queen, which he did, you take with a pawn, and now you're all over him like Oprah on self-promotion. So rook g1 was great. Great move. Okay, he played g6, not too good. Yeah. And this is just fantastic for white. 2 bishops. His rook on d1 is great. Black's rooks haven't moved yet. f7's a target. It's a very bad position for black. b5 attacking the bishop. Knight d7. He takes on f7. Now, did he see bishop f7? I don't know. If he didn't, now let me explain something to the gawking rabble, which is all of you. Crazy Viking 33 subscribed. If this was the game Nepomniachtchi versus Alekseenko from a couple rounds ago, the people who are the conspiracy theorists, they would have said, oh, he lost on purpose. He played this absurd blunder with the simple winning tactic. I don't know if he didn't see it or he did see it and thought the resulting position was fine. Yeah. Now, what would the Indigo girls say about the resulting position?
I don't know.
It's closer to fine.
I can't stand that band.
It's only 30 years old. Come on. Yeah, that song. Okay. So now the king is overworked like Karen. Right, sweetie?
I am overworked.
See? Okay, so this is Tactics 101. Bishop takes, rook takes. White's up a pawn. It's a passed pawn. White's rook is on the 7th rank. It's over. Robert E630 gifted a sub. Grandmaster Gus gifted a sub. The more subs you gift, the more subs we have. Tautology 101. Okay. And, I mean, nothing much happened in the game, except I wouldn't have resigned when Alekseenko did. However, there was actually a problem getting the moves this game. A lot of people thought he resigned before. They were having a transmission issue. So he resigned a lot later than originally, scheduled. Now, the French GMs are always like, MVL, mwah! MVL's the greatest. We love MVL. Right? And I don't know who's playing in the tournament, but go MVL. Allez! And so they were like praising him like they should. All kinds of, ridiculous. He played a good game. Philosophically unsound. Frankly, terrible. You know who's philosophically unsound? Man, if you get this joke, you ain't going to get this joke. This really is, this is like a 1 in a million. Okay?
Okay, can I have a bigger hint?
No. When I say you, I mean the whole stream and like the whole world. Right.
Oh.
Right. And the reason I'm making the joke is philosophically unsound. Subscribed. Right. So, my good friend, Waka Flocka Flame, right? It's philosophically unsound that he keeps talking about SK and hardened to paint. In philosophy, who's SK?
SK?
I go hard in the something. Yo. Right, Soren Kierkegaard. Yeah. Yeah. Was that even a joke? No. It's very hard to know the lyrics to Hardened to Paint and to have heard of Soren Kierkegaard. That's a very small subset of people. Yeah.
Are you
SK the Great?
No.
Now, seriously, did SK go Hardened to Paint? Well. And you know who his best friend was? SK? Gucci. Okay. For $1 trillion, what's Gucci's last name?
May.
Correct. Yes, we have $2 trillion. Yeah. Okay. Now, let me tell you, the French GMs were falling all over themselves explaining how great this move was. I'll get to it. C4 is explosive. Okay. Now, somehow on Twitter, the French GMs are like, this is the greatest move in the history of chess. The next move. I mean, I don't even like the move. I don't. I wouldn't play the move. I've seen the game. I wouldn't play the move. I don't like the move at all. The move's not even listed in the engine as one of the top 3 moves. But they were like, this shows that MVL is a genius. Fine. Played rook d1 trading rooks, which I don't like. I think it's better for white with the rooks on. And they're like, oh yeah, his understanding and so forth. Okay. I mean, white's winning either way. Now, this pawn structure here, who does that favor? White or black?
It seems, well, I don't really know, but I guess we'll have to guess and give a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like black because pawns are more advanced.
Close. It's white.
Okay.
Because the bishop's on the same color of the pawns. That's bad.
Okay.
So white can take all these pawns, and black can never take these pawns. So this bishop has to babysit.
Oh, I see.
Right, and you know about babies. Do you want to sit? No. So you want pawns on the opposite color of your bishop. So white's pawn structure is better over here. So these pawns are the safest pawns ever, and these are just, I have to babysit them. Now, I have a funny story about 40 years ago. Really was 40 years ago. It was more than 40. It was 41 years ago. I was playing in Chicago in a big tournament, like probably under 1,200 or under 1,300, I don't know. And I had this pawn structure where it was these 3 against these 3. I was white, but it was the same pawn structure. And I had a bishop on the white square, okay? And he had a bishop on the white square. And on the queen side, this is the king side because it's all reversed. He had a passed pawn, and his king was over there. And his bishop was over there, and he thought I was dead lost. And when his bishop and king were over there, I played here winning. Because I'm threatening this. And if he takes it, and I won. I actually won the game when I had 3 pawns to 4 because he didn't see my trick. This trick doesn't exist here because the bishop's on a dark square. Okay, so now MVL can concentrate on the king side, but it seems like it's hard to break through. And e5 seems very dangerous for white because once he plays e5, king e4, what does he do? So it seems risky to play e5, but that's fine. Yeah, black can't do very much. Yeah. And here he resigned. And I was thinking, how does white win? And then I look at engines, and it's like plus $1 billion. It's like black should have resigned before. And I don't know how to win. And the way the engine wants you to win is to put black in Zugzwang. So obviously, if that's the way to win, I don't understand why you're resigning. But anyway, so here's how you win. You play bishop here, attacking the pawn. And black goes bishop here, bishop here, bishop here, bishop here, bishop here. Then white plays bishop d6, and black goes bishop here, bishop here, bishop here, bishop here. He can't move his king because then I win. Then you play bishop c7. So I'll give you an example of the winning technique. Okay. Okay, so the bishop can't move, nothing can move. So you have to go here. That way you can't play this because king takes bishop. Reminiscent of Fischer-Finegold, 1963. Now you move the bishop, threatening to play king here. So you have to go back to e6, right? Okay, then this position is Zugzwang. Because if the king moves, this wins. If the bishop moves, this wins. So now you just play h3 or h4 and you win. And black can't move. Moving the king here resigns. Moving the bishop here resigns. Now I agree that white is completely winning and black is in total zugzwang, but I still wouldn't resign. There's a lot of resigning this round, right? Frankly, terrible. Mm-hmm. And when people resigned and the gawking rabble and me didn't understand why you would resign so early, everybody got mad. I even got a text from Matt Larson about another game where there was an early resignation. And I said, yeah, I don't know. And that's the one people were the maddest about. Now, when people resign in this tournament, the engines always say, good resignation. You're getting killed. But humans are like, why do you resign? I want to see Now, there's a big push over the last 10 years, and the push has gone down because of COVID, so nobody cares anymore, that resigning shouldn't be allowed because you can't resign in any other sport. You're playing baseball, you're down 12-0, you can't resign, right? So in chess, to make the game more popular, right, grow the game, no resigning. That way the gawking rabble, when they watch the game, it's going to end with a flag falling or a checkmate, and you guys understand that. Sometimes you don't know why it's checkmate, but if it is checkmate, and you're like, oh, then, okay. So resigning at the very top level makes the game difficult to understand for lower rated players, occasionally higher rated players. And I have a couple of stories, because I always do. I was at the World Open before you guys were born, and a game ended. I looked at the position, and I was like, black resigned here? It was a double rook ending even pawns. And black had triple pawns, so technically he was losing, but you would never resign. Ever. And there was two grandmasters playing, and they left, and the board was still set up. And my good friend Boris Men showed up. He's about the same rating as me, but he's an IM. I haven't seen him in like 20 years. And I said, why did black resign? And he looked at me and said, too much talent. And occasionally, super GMs resign, and they're not losing. Timon did it. Kramnik did it. And too much talent. Well, it wasn't Kramnik, it was Svidler. Svidler's resigned at least twice when he wasn't losing. Or he was like worse. He likes to resign when he's playing another player of his caliber and he's worse. Well, I resign. All right. Resigning is frankly ridiculous. Here it's ridiculous too, but the engine doesn't agree with me. The engine's like, white's totally winning. Of course you should resign. But you have to know what the winning technique is. Lower rated players would furrow their brow in a vain attempt to understand the situation. If I was black, I'd play for win against a low rated player. So, yeah. Shanklin resigned, and when he resigned, Giri said this position's a draw. Right. And then Magnus had the greatest burn of all time, ever. I told you this story. Shanklin resigned in a drawn position against Giri. A few months later, on the other side of the board, the same position was going to occur. It hadn't occurred yet, but Magnus is like, here, like he's analyzing the game on the internet. Here. He said, and then it's a drawn position, but black will resign. Because he was just making fun of Shanklin. I mean, it was a genius joke. Yeah. Very smart. Okay, so the game's over. Black resigned. And the engine says, yep, white's plus 10. All right. I mean, white has a better king, a passed pawn, but you have to win somehow. You got to break on through. Yeah. What song? Who's the group?
Break on through?
Yeah, what group?
I don't know.
Right there. The Doors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Who. Boo, boo.
I couldn't think for a second.
Boo. You spelled Bobby Fischer correctly? Wow. I'd give you a sub if you weren't already a sub. Yeah. Okay, next game. Now, I had an argument with chess.com on what the game of the day was, and I thought it should be the other game, and the chess.com guy said, yeah, probably other commentators are going to do the other game, but this game almost cements Jan winning the tournament, so we should show this game. And it is true, since Giri's playing so well, I keep showing Giri games. And the other issue is, the reason Jan is a big favorite now is he wins on tie breaks against Giri. So if they tie for first, Jan wins. So Giri's half a point behind, and he has to finish half a point ahead. There's 2 rounds left. So he's a big favorite, Jan. So if he's going to win the tournament, we should show one of his games. He won with black, etc. Now, since the restart of round 8, from last year, black has won 0 games, as Aviv would say, until now. Now, for $1 trillion, who's he referencing? Until now. Black hasn't won a game. Until now.
I don't know.
It's from Get Smart. It's Harry Who. Harry Who's detective like Maxwell Smart. And he's also like silly like him. Like he says stuff and it's nonsense. So Aviv's favorite scene is Harry Who says, and he gives a long speech about why some guy's the killer. And he says, and that's how I realized you are the killer. And then the guy falls down dead. And he says, until now. Then he says, okay, you're the killer, like somebody else. Yeah. I knew it was you who was the killer. Until now. Harry Who. Yeah, Harry Who's the best.
Ben is such a nerd.
That's a big no, Jim Morrison. What's an anagram of Jim Morrison, which Jim Morrison sings in one of his songs? And like half of you people don't know this, even though I've said it on stream.
I know, I remember you saying it too.
Mr. Mojo Rising.
Oh, yeah.
That's Jim Morrison, but it's an anagram.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, see, that guy knew. Yeah. That's right. Fressinet is correct. Wait, what? What's my favorite movie quote of all time? I don't know. I actually have a poster with a list of movie quotes. I mean, you hear me talking, hillbilly boy? I ain't through with you by damn sight. I'm going to get medieval on your ass. That's a good one. Then he says other stuff, which I can't say because we're streaming. Yeah, I banned immediately. Yeah, because they're hard pipe hitting something. Yeah, to go to work on the Holmes here. Yeah, that's a great one. Okay, back to the game. Everybody Wang Hao tonight. Everybody Wang Hao tonight. So in 2011, as you all know, I accompanied Hikaru Nakamura to Moscow for the Tall Memorial. And I wasn't going to bring a coat because, I don't wear a coat too often. And it was November in Moscow. And they were like, hey, you should bring a coat. And I was like, all right. If I didn't bring a coat, I wouldn't have come back alive. It was 1 billion degrees below zero Celsius. It was the coldest place ever, November 2011 in Moscow. I'm glad I had a coat. I needed a bigger coat, but okay, coat. Anyway, so in that tournament, Nepomniachtchi played, and we thought he would come in last. He was the lowest rated player. Very strong tournament. Hikaru, Kramnik, Gelfand, Anand, Carlson, and some stronger players. I missed the stronger players, sorry. And the world champion at the time was Anand. And Anand was going to play in a few months against Gelfand for the world championship. Okay, it was old school. Anyway, Carlson won the first game, drew the next 7, and won the last game and tied for first and won on tiebreak. And the shocking result was Jan Nepomniachtchi, 1 win, 8 draws. I'm like, I thought he was going to lose all his games. I didn't know who he was. And then I saw him in China, and he was amazing in China. He was really good at the World Team Championship. Somehow that was before Moscow, so now my story doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyway.
How old is he?
Jan, he's early 30s, I guess. Very early. Maybe 20s. That's how early. Okay, so here's the game. It's the most boring game of the round, and yet it's the game of the day.
29.
Makes you think. Yeah, not 29, 20.
9?
C plus. Yeah. By the way, the drug dealer in Pulp Fiction originally, oh God, was cast, the person supposed to play him, Quentin Tarantino. Frankly, ridiculous. And then they were like, nah, man. Yeah, Ving Rhames went into him in character and said, no, you can't act. So then they got who?
Can't remember. He's 30.
Who'd they get? Ifan? No.
But say it again because I was reading the chat.
That's correct. Who played the drug dealer in Pulp Fiction?
Oh, okay.
Eric Stoltz. Yeah. Now, another story about Eric Stoltz, which you don't know. You ready for this? Mm-hmm. Back to the Future, the first one, Eric Stoltz was cast. He was the guy. They shot for a week, 2 weeks, and they fired him because he sucked.
Yeah.
And then they got Michael J. Fox, right? And somebody asked me the other day, what did you think of Michael J. Fox's performances in Back to the Future movies? And I responded with, a little shaky.
Who played Marty McFly?
You didn't get my little shaky. You didn't get that.
No, you know.
I like the way on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Michael J. Fox played himself as the upstairs neighbor, and he was doing a lot of stuff that made a lot of noise because he's dropping and shaking, and then he's like denying it. That was funny. And they got him good. All right. No, Stoltz, no. Michael J. Fox was perfect for that role. By the way, we saw the movie that Karen hated that has Christopher Lloyd, yesterday or 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And then I went to the internets. He's 82. God damn. I remember him from Taxi in the 70s as Jim Dutowski. Okay, now this game is very boring. Game of the day. I made a video on it for chess.com's YouTube page. I'm sure you've already watched it. Now, I got another $1 trillion question for you. Ready? Okay. They played a Petrov. Okay. And the main move used to be D4. It was the only move. Then 30 years ago, people started playing this, as in the famous game, Zapata Anand. You know how that game went?
No.
You ready?
I know.
I'm going to show you the whole game.
I know it's real quick.
The whole game.
Anand
Here,
resigns.
here, resigns. That was played in 1988 in July. Resigns. This is a blunder. I could tell you long stories about why Anand played it. I could tell you how I teased him. But, I can't tease him anymore. You know why? Oh, man, this is a good joke. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo. Oh, this is like one of my top 10 jokes ever.
I'm afraid of it.
You know why I can't tease him now? His hair's fake. Truth hurts. And so forth. And so on. Yeah. Well, thanks, George 212 for 300 centidues. Truth hurts. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's correct. That's a joke they can get. Why is it a blunder? You lose it, you lose. That's why. So in this position, what the hell? In this position, White's threatening to win a knight. So you got two moves, d5 and queen e7. There are no other moves to defend your knight. Well, queen h4 defends your knight. Oh, snap. If you play d5, d3, and you win the knight. So queen e7 is forced. I mean, sort of. Then knight d5. You hear me talking, hillbilly boy? He ain't through with you by damn sight. Now he's threatening this. And there's also threatening this. So if you go here, you're getting beat. If you go here or here, defending the pawn, then the knight's pinned again. d3 resigns. That was Zapata Anand, and Zapata lives in Atlanta now for years. Yeah. So I played Anand once in a FIDE-rated game. It was a draw from this tournament. I have props for the stream. Okay. And Zapata played him and beat him. So Anand coming to Atlanta, kick your ass. Right? You agree. Okay. Yeah. Etc. Anand had hell to pay. That's for my brother. Because of that blunder. Yeah. Well, you know what they say, hair today, gone tomorrow. All right. Anyway, let's continue. He played D3, which is very boring. Now there's a $1 trillion question coming.
All right.
Guess it's a Petrov. We'll go back to show you the Petrov, right? Okay. D3 is a very, not a common move, but okay. Symmetrical. What opening does this remind you of? Remember, it was a Petrov. Now what does it remind you of?
What opening?
I can't give you a hint because it's too easy.
I don't know. I feel like, is there some joke?
No.
Oh, you're really.
No, I got some of the right answers in the chat and some of the wrong answers. That's not how you spell Kali. Kali has 2 L's. You should really be sad about that. I would say you should be melancholy. Yay!
Kali?
Casey Ingram, 76, donated 10 subs. That's the spirit, because it's 76.
Yeah.
You don't know? It's okay if you don't know. You done? Because I'm gonna.
Well, I mean, it looks a little bit like an exchange.
Yeah, a little bit.
What?
You've had this position 800,000 times. Now, you watching?
Nobody said that.
You
but
watch
that's
it?
what is.
They did exchange French. We
Oh,
said,
I didn't
yeah.
see that.
Watch. Okay.
I hate the exchange.
What do you play here?
If I'm, let's see. I actually usually play bishop g4.
Immediately?
Or knight f6.
Right, knight f6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the position.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is they're closer to time control in the other one. Because both sides have made 4 moves here. But in the actual game, they did some crazy stuff. So now both sides have made 6 moves, 2 extra moves, closer to time control, right? Or as Indigo Girls would say. Okay.
So hang on a minute. So that implies. So I don't know the outcome of the game because I haven't seen any of the games. So by you saying that, you're saying that they were just trying to draw.
No, this is the boring opening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you meant by
Yeah.
that.
Now, which
You said
physicist?
closer to the time control,
Right.
like they were trying to just.
Which
move around.
physicist likes boring chess?
Which, Bohr.
Yeah, Niels Bohr. Yeah. All right, so we got a train. That 10 subs helped.
I almost drank
Let's
this
see.
whole
So many
beer.
viewers. Oh, yeah, 4,000 viewers. That's good. Yeah. Now, this is serious. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. When the guy said, "Did you sell your soul to the devil for getting so many viewers?" You're close. I did try to sell my soul to the devil. I did. But what happened was, because of what happened in the what are they called? The representation, not the Congress, what's the state Congress called? The state, whatever it's called. Whoever the state representatives, not the U.S. ones. And because of the governor, the devil's like, I'm not coming to Georgia. So he was supposed to come, right? And then he decided not to come because of the voting laws. So I couldn't make a deal with him. And I play the violin too. So, I could have kicked his ass. That's too bad though. If it wasn't for that, you are the greatest person who ever lived until somebody donates 11 subs. Gimme Amin. Steve and Edie Amin.
All right, let's get some moves.
Well, they got Niels Bohr here.
How about 3 moves?
No. 100 cents to do. Samuel Mayfield. Thank you. Andy Kaufman is a genius of the highest caliber. My mom liked him until she didn't. He was a habitual line stepper. And she stopped liking him and went the other way, hated him, because he wrestled a pregnant woman. I mean, she wanted to wrestle. I don't see what the problem is. Yeah. He's not a good wrestler. So. He called himself like the intergender wrestling champion. And he only wrestled women. D-Razzle and/or Drazzle, 100 centidues. Yeah. Andy Kaufman's a genius of the highest.
Did he win?
He did win. Yeah. There you go. It was 2-on-1. Yeah, so it was unfair. There were two of them against him. Yeah. Okay. It's funny because right before the match ended, the referee decided they had to abort. Okay. So the game is really boring.
All right, here we go.
Now, Karen's a low-rated player compared to, like, these people. Mm-hmm. If you were black, would you take with the bishop or the king? Or would you play other?
If I were black, let's see.
Jim Carrey's a genius. Andy Kaufman's a genius. Christopher Lloyd's a genius. John Belushi was a genius, etc.
I'm not sure because both seem bad. I guess I would take with the bishop.
Right. Lower-rated players take with the bishop, which is fine. Nothing wrong with it. But king takes is better. And
lets the rook out.
Lets the rook out. And the bishop's better on d6 than e7.
Yeah.
On e7, it's going to get it.
I just felt like it was a little scary there.
Right. Low-rated players are like, what? King here? Ridiculous. Now, you guys should love this move because, unlike me, you love the Bond Cloud. You love it, right? I think because you were dropped on your head as a kid. That's probably why. Now, the king is perfectly safe. The rook gets out. The king has a safe square. The bishop's better on d6 than e7. And some people do take with the bishop, but I would take with the king.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
They're
point.
like, Bond Cloud. No wonder that move is good.
The queen
Okay, now we have to take a station identification here. We need 3 subs in the next 20 seconds. So if everybody who's watching gives 3 subs, I can retire. If all 4,000 of you give 3 subs, I'm good.
Wait, what is...
10 seconds. Can they do it? Or are we going to die on level 4? Boo. Thaddeus gave 1 sub. Man, that's like a fork in the eye. Bam! Xanth, you got it in just in time. That's what she said. Hope you have prophylaxis. Xanth 13 gifted 5 subs. You're the best person who ever lived. Except for everybody else. Grizzly Cheeks subscribed with Prime. Thanks, Grizzly. Samuel Mayfield, another 5 subs again. Man, I tricked you. I mean, thanks, guys. Yeah. Hype Train. Exactly. NFT2 subscribed. All right, now we're doing great. Sergey and chess. In Soviet Russia, Sergey plays chess. Yeah. Thanks for the gifted sub. All right. Yay, you have to give 157%.
Yeah, you're off the camera a little bit.
Okay.
You just gotta
Yeah, whatever. They don't want to see me. They want to see you.
They do.
Yeah.
The rain is loud.
Yeah. Karen's commentary is top shelf. What? Okay. Level 6. Yeah.
I know. I do too. Chess. We want chess.
Man, your spelling of prophylaxis is frankly ridiculous. Okay. Castles. Now, when I gave the game of the day spiel today on chess.com YouTube, I explained that one of the reasons Hal played d3, which is unusual, is he probably figured Nepomniachtchi doesn't play the Petrov. That's not his style. And he doesn't know these unusual lines. Now, so far he's shown that he does. Then he played this. It was obvious. Because if you didn't know the line, you'd probably play rook e8, king f8, which is fine. Knight c6 is actually a great move. Because what black wants to play knight b4. Knight b4 what? I don't know. Before white does something. And the bishop can't move after knight b4 because c2 is hanging. If you don't move the bishop, I take it. And that's no good. Now, everybody always plays rook e1 check here. And then black has to, play bishop e6 or move his king to somewhere stupid. Wang Hao played c3 novelty. Nepomniachtchi didn't know the move c3, so he was PO'd. Brady T1010 subscribed. Go sub battle. Yeah. Man, and your spelling of ridiculous is ridiculous. Wait, don't Greeks have their own alphabet? So you just spelled it in the Latin alphabet? Terrible. You're banned. I'm going to go to I'm going to go to Porto Carras and take care of you, so watch it. All right. Banned forever. Yeah. Okay, for $1 trillion, if you're going to Porto Carras, okay?
Yeah.
Which airport do you fly into in Greece? That's the closest. The international flight.
Yeah, I'm not going to know it.
You can do it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to know it.
Constantinople's close, except for one thing. What is Porto Cas? That's not what I said. Yay! Thessaloniki. They had an Olympiad there before you were born. Look at that, you were born, though. Okay. Yeah, Thessaloniki is correct. All right. H6. Again, you would think he would want to do something about this, and he did. This is a very advanced move. So, in the case where white plays rook e1 check and black plays bishop e6, then white would want to play knight g5. Or maybe bishop g5, but not anymore. So h6 stops, it takes away this square, so bishop e6 is fine. Now here, Wang Hao made a really unusual piece sacrifice. And Nepomniachtchi watches my stream a lot. He raided me once. He did raid me once. And he played rook h7, sacking the exchange. Now, this was a blunder because he forgot, he saw that, but he forgot the bishop was there. So Wang Hao said, that's terrible, and let him take the move back. And then Nepomniachtchi said, well, that's terrible. So he let Wang Hao take that back. Okay, he touched his knight, so he has to move it, right?
Okay.
So he played knight h4. All right. What percentage of the chat believes me? 30%? Mm-hmm. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, when I went home, thanks for the 21 subs and 500 bits. When I went home earlier after making the video, before I got to my car, there was a rock on the ground. It wasn't a rock. No, it was actually a rock. It wasn't a rock lobster. And the rock spoke to me. And he said, excuse me. And I'm like, what? And he said, please don't compare me to the people who watch your stream. He heard that I said the people were dumb as a rock, and he was really insulted. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. It wasn't a rock. Okay, so knight h4 obviously loses time, right? And the thing is, Wang Hao's second was Rosemary, and she wanted him to lose time because she wanted him all to herself. Terrible. Yeah, partially correct. It turned out the move wasn't bad, so in the end, she was sage. Okay, so he wants to get the two bishops and play knight f5, but he's not developing. So, I don't know. Rook e8, check, take. Freyel subscribe, maybe. Yeah. Take his word for granted if the rock talks to you. Yeah, there's a lot of jokes like that on the Flintstones. A lot. Yeah, a lot of jokes. Yeah. Boo is correct. I already said she was sage. Come on, what's going on here? I made a sage joke. Terrible. Yeah. Okay, so white has the obvious advantage of the two bishops. But this bishop is shallow and pedantic. It can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. It's behind all these pawns. Terrible. And this is ridiculous. And black's looking good, right? You know why he looks good? Man bun.
What?
Man bun.
Man pun?
Man bun.
Okay.
What? Why is that funny?
I don't understand how that's a man bun.
No, it's Jan. He has a man bun.
I know he has a man bun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. People rocking the man bun. That's correct.
I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of the man bun.
Your wife is beautiful. I'd like to take her over a bishop pair. Man, the truth hurts. You'd rather have my wife than the bishop pair? The bishop pair is pretty good. Yeah. What's funny is I met a pair of bishops, and they were like, you know, your wife's good looking. And I said, oh, did you want her? And they said, no. Wrong everything. Wrong age, wrong gender. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Truth hurts. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't like the insinuation of what they were saying. So what did I do to them? I smacked those bitch ups. Yeah, smacked them. Okay. Is she single? My wife? Maybe. I don't know. Etc.
All right, oh, come on. Let's do some chess.
But these guys love it. 4,000 viewers. Okay. And he played King F8 finally. And black, everything's perfect. Except white has the two bishops. But, you know, they're not really doing much. Grandmaster Gus gifted a sub. Hooray! Jordan von F. Wrong age, wrong gender. That's right. And for more information about, you know, the church, there's a South Park episode, definitely one of the top episodes, where the devil has a Halloween party. Definitely one of the top episodes. For sure. I want you to watch that episode. I think you'll just die laughing. There's so many funny things in that episode. Watch how they back me up. They'll be like, oh my God, I forgot about that episode. Yeah. Yeah. How on earth? Yeah. They know what I'm talking about. Ben missed my joke. You made a joke? How do you get a nun pregnant? You dress her up as an altar boy. That's not a joke. That's just true. All right. Bishop pair Karen. Hey, you're winning. You're better than the bishop pair. Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a poll.
Yeah, that's right. There's a poll for everything. Yeah. I didn't see the COVID show, but I heard about it. Yeah.
I do like having the bishop pair.
The Robot Devils, that's a great character. Okay. So G3, and you'll actually see the purpose of this in a few moves. Not only does it give white luft and squares for his pieces, it takes away these squares, which black could have tried to play after knight e7 attacking the bishop. I don't like h3. I prefer d3. Doesn't matter. Now, after knight g6, which is the kind of move I would play, g3 really crushes the knight that can't go anywhere. So now, Jan played like Karen, because Karen has black in these positions a lot. He played knight c8, always retreat. He's opening up his rook, and his knight wants to go to b6. And okay, white finally developed a piece. They played very boring. I don't like f3, not because I don't like f3, which is a reason, but I really don't like f3 here. But it's not terrible. He wants to play king here, and he wants to stop the black knight from penetrating. If the black knight penetrates, that could hurt. So he tries to penetrate with his other knight. White used more prophylaxis. Man, it's getting scary over here. Yeah. And ouch. Hi, everyone. Wait, the game wasn't resigned on purpose? Am I missing something? What? English. Could you explain knight f1? I can. Okay, so in this position, white could play knight f3 and try to use these squares. He decided to play knight f1 for several reasons. The knight could go to e3 later. He wants to keep this knight out, so he was thinking instead of knight f3, he'll play f3, and now his bishop can get out. So when the knight was on d2, the bishop couldn't move. So he's going to go here later, maybe. He's going to move his bishop maybe. Going to play f3 and king f2. So that's why he played knight f1 instead of knight f3. I'm not saying it's better. Knight f3 is probably better. All right. It's a really dry position, right? And the reason it's dry mainly is because of the prophylaxis. Okay.
Come on.
What?
Stay on task.
Local, what? Giri taking this poll by storm. Wait, what? Giri? It's another poll. Who do you want to win the candidates? I don't know, Karen? I vote for Karen? How come nobody voted for Pat Buchanan? I don't understand it. Because of my fine-tuned sense of humor, we have more viewers than ever. 43-23. In the year 43-23.
Well, I want to vote.
All right. I'll vote for you. Who you want?
Wait a minute. You're going so fast. I don't want to influence, but the just put your cursor somewhere. No. Yes.
Mm-hmm. You know, in Futurama, it was the year 25 when their time machine was going too quickly. All right. Now, I'm trying to give some humorous analysis, but to be honest, it's a boring drawn position. It's a draw. It's boring. The engine says all zeros. The pawn structure is symmetrical. White's two bishops don't matter much. White's playing very safe, so black's knights can't get anywhere. And nobody can do anything. Okay, but Wang Hao said genius thing at the press conference. He really did. Mm-hmm. He said, after move 40, I played like a 2200 player. Now, that's a pretty big burn. He could have said 1400. He could have said 60. He said 2200. So that's what he thinks of players 2200 and below. He's trying to insult the way he was playing. He's like, 2200, that's pretty insulting. Man, harsh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, truth hurts. Yeah. Also, I agree. And when I did my game of the day, I said, Wang Hao played fine until move 39, and then he played terrible. I don't know. It happens. Yeah. Yay, Giri wins, who Karen voted for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thaddeus was right, but I did vote for Giri.
All right. So, okay, very boring. Nothing happened. Nothing's happening. Okay. I like rook c8 because the move bishop e3 shows that Wang Hao's playing for a win. If he wants to draw, he can play stripper chess. And what do they do in stripper chess? They take it all off, right? So he could just capture everything and it's equal. But he's like, two bishops, I want to win. Although he didn't say it that way. Okay, and then Nepomniachtchi is like, well, if you're going to play for a win, I'm going to play for a win. And the arbiter showed up and told him to be quiet. No talking. Okay, and Jan played rook a c8 to play c5 because this will eventually become a backward pawn, which it did. If you don't know what a backward pawn is, ask Farnsley 69.
I don't understand the move.
Which one?
Bishop g5.
No dice. 24.
I just don't understand it.
Bishop g5 is a good square for the bishop, and black didn't like that, so black maneuvered to kick it out. It's just sitting there, great. It's
no, that was fine. I'm talking about, but okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood what you said.
Okay, so rook c8's now. What? You've heard of the knight's tour. Wang Hao's giving the bishop's tour. He's trying on every square for size. Reminds me of the famous game that Morphy won that I show a lot, where white plays bishop a3, bishop f8, bishop a3, bishop c1, bishop f4, resigns soon thereafter. So he retreated, okay, because he wants to defend this pawn. And after here, he's like, all right, black has an isolated pawn. But I would say this pawn isn't as weak as this pawn. This pawn's defended by the knight, and you can't attack it. This pawn, no good. The bishop's defending it. Terrible. So white is very passive, okay? But 2 bishops and still sort of boring. So it's still equal. Okay. And now Wang Hao played a plan that probably wasn't right, but still draws. The engine wants them to do nothing. Super GMs are good at doing nothing, except these super GMs. They don't like to do nothing. Anish likes to do nothing. Fabi likes to do nothing. Carlson likes to do nothing. And I can name a lot of super GMs from the last 50 years who are very slow and methodical and so forth. And these guys aren't like that. These guys like to be active. So when he played Rook B1, he wanted to play B4 and change it up. Now, in 1992 and 1993, I had the Sanford Fellowship. Which Grandmaster coached me?
What year?
92, 93, when I had the Sanford Fellowship. Born and bred in Kentucky, the Lexington Lion. And by born in Kentucky, he wasn't born in Kentucky, but he's lived there like 35 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gregory Kaidanov. And Kaidanov said, my biggest weakness, which is what Wang Hao is doing, is I always try to change the position. I don't try to incrementally improve my position. I'm always doing something, and it ruins my position, and I lose. And Yasser Seirawan, before you were born, wrote a really nice article in his own magazine, Inside Chess. And he said there's 4 kinds of players, tactics. And the 4th kind was the best, because he was the 4th kind, which was a builder. You build. You do this and this and this and this and this, and then you win. Not that you're just going crazy like Fox News. What's funny was Fox News didn't exist when he wrote the article. So he was ahead of his time. So playing Rook B1, B4 changes the character of the game. Now something's going to happen. Pawns are going to get traded. Pieces are going to get traded. Activity. This pawn's going to be passed. This pawn. It changes everything. Luckily for Hao, maybe it's not luck, he's still fine. And Hao. Okay, they traded rooks. They traded pawns. And in this position, I think the reason Wang Hao played this way, was he expected bishop takes c3, and the engine says after that it's completely equal. And Nepomniachtchi played a better move, the best move, knight d6. Why is this better? Well, the knight's good on d6. Now the rook has to make a decision he doesn't want to make. And probably Wang Hao, when he played this sequence of moves, probably thought, I'll go here and I'm a pawn up. He probably thought that 5 or 6 moves ago. But that's a very bad move. Now black has a big advantage, maybe winning. What's the winning or good move for black?
Let's see.
Jackson Showalter. Is it W. Jackson Showalter? I think so. Karpov Unzicker. Grandmaster Gus, if you've ever watched football, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, the coach of the team is always worse than all the players. That's life. Yeah, the coach coaches you. He tells you what your weaknesses are because it's hard to see your own weaknesses. And the coach also can tell you what other players' weaknesses are that you're playing, and they can do databases for you and set things up for you, give you studies you don't know. The coach doesn't have to be better than you. Now, when you're rated like 1,100 like you are, 1,200, 1,300, the coach should be better than you because you're a beginner. But when you're 25, 26, 2,700, the coach can be anybody who's reasonable that's a good coach. And, for example, Agard is a good coach. And he's not better than anybody, but he's a good coach. So, yes?
I wasn't sure. I was going to say knight c4. Maybe.
No. Knight c4 is not bad.
Yeah.
But it's d4.
d4.
See the pin? Now, you might say, that's not pinned, that's defended. That's because there's many pins. If you go here, I take, and I pin again. And then if you defend your knight, if you do, then I attack it again. So you lose a piece. And if you don't take on d4, you're in trouble. The engine plays c4 because it's explosive. That's the engine move. Then if you take this, the knight takes, defending the pawn. So you play knight takes, attacking the bishop twice. Then if you take, and I take, the engine really likes black because the bishop is terrible. The king is open on the second rank because of f3. The knight is terrible. This knight's coming in. His pawn's moving. Rook c2 check. Maybe white can draw. Maybe. So knight d6, I think, surprised Wang Hao. He thought, which was probably a draw because the knight's here. Yeah. Now, the problem with rook a7 is the rook doesn't participate in any part of the game here. What it does do is it helps the a-pawn forward. So that's why he played rook a7. Bishop d7 is a great move because the bishop sucks here. And probably Wang Hao thought this is just a draw. It's equal material. This will try to queen. This will try to queen. They'll trade pawns. It'll be a draw. Most of that happened. Okay. He played rook c6. And over the next 2 or 3 moves, Wang Hao played very badly. This position, white has 3 reasonable looking moves. Okay? There's the stop short. That's a good move. Right? Who invented that move?
The stop short?
Stop short.
I don't know. Nigel Short?
No,
I don't know
come
what you're
on.
saying. I don't know what stop short means.
Oh, come on. Let's see if the chat knows. Damn.
Hey, I can't see the
Yep,
chat.
the chat knows. Frank Costanza, George's dad.
Oh.
Okay, so stop short. Then when Kramer tried it with his wife, man, he was mad, even though that's not what happened. Okay, so white should play king f2, improving his king, or play knight e3, improving his knight, or knight d2, improving his knight. Those are all reasonable. And I made a comment, this move made no sense at all on the YouTube video that I've already made. And there was a guy in the chat, he was furious. He's like, you keep saying you don't like these moves and this and that. Says, you probably think your bathwater tastes good. Now, okay, it does, but that's not the point. So he was mad that I was criticizing moves that are bad. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I set back GMs like 30 years with a comedy sketch. Sorry. What was I referencing? Chappelle Show.
Yeah. Hey, now listen, I have to go after this game because my kids.
You have kids?
I need to tend to my children.
I was going to marry her, and then this guy said, dude, she has 2 kids. And I was like, oh, Simpsons. Yeah. Homer often forgets that he has a baby Maggie, and he corrects people that say he has 3 kids. I have 2 kids. And then they're like, what about Maggie? He says, oh, I got nothing against Maggie. Maggie shot Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. All right. 2 kids, what else? That's right. Okay. I have kids. Psh, get that out of here. Yeah. The real Greco subscribe. Good. Let's get to 3,200 subs. I agree. Okay. So instead, he played this horrible move. And I said on my video earlier, if I was white and it was my move, I would go here. The rook does nothing there except give black the latent potential. And probably Wang Hao quit school in like the 7th grade because if he had more than your battery's running low. If he had more than an 8th grade education, he would know the difference between latent potential and actualized potential. And in this position, black can't move his knight because of the pawn. He can't move his rook because of the knight. So this is great. But he played here. Now black can do everything. And Anand was very unhappy. He was doing live commentary. He said, before that move, black could do Vishwa nothing. Now he can do Vishwa something. Terrible. Yeah. And the funny thing is, he was so mad, he was shaking, and then his hair was falling off, so he had to put it back. Terrible. Okay. He had hell to pay, as Mark would say. All right, check. Now, as I said in my previous video, you'll like this reference too. White has a Sophie's choice. Except this ain't no movie, right? What percentage of the chat knows what Sophie's choice is? Not much?
Maybe
10%.
10. Yeah, 10.
Yeah. So, shoot them both. That's Raiders of the Lost Ark. So King H3, that's no good. King G1, that's no good. But you got to play one of them. I don't know. Horrible. They're both horrible. Yeah. The engine says they're the same. They're just both horrible. One of my children knows. Oh, snap. If you watch Rick and Morty, and if you don't, you should probably leave. If you watch Rick and Morty, there's an episode where at some point there's a bad guy, and he has the kids and Beth. And he said, okay, Beth, pick one of your kids, and I'm going to kill them. If you don't pick, I'll kill them both. So who do you want to save? And she instantly says, Summer. And then, and Morty's like, what? Like immediately. And then Rick shows up and kills the guy. So now Morty's pretty mad. Summer. Farty Party 927 gifted a sub. Yeah, and as you all know, the person who plays Summer is Spencer Grammer. Spencer Grammer is a girl, and unlike Spencer Finegold, same spelling, and that's Kelsey Grammer's daughter. I hope you've learned something today. Okay, so King G1, I think that's better than King H3. I like that my knight's defended. I don't like either move. And now he plays Rook D7. Terrible. Okay, Wang Hao did the best he could. He got counterplay with his A-pawn, and he pushed it all the way up. H4 is a really good move. He wants to play H3, then the white king is terrible. And he also wants white to take, so white loses all of his pawns. Yeah. You might say, why doesn't white play G4? He did. That didn't work out well. So first he tried to queen. Okay. And then white can't move anything. Now this is his last chance. Although he resigns early, so maybe it's not his last chance. Maybe he would have resigned anyway when he was equal. All right. And it's funny, Wang Yui, who was better than Wang Hao for a long time. I don't think Wang Yui plays chess anymore, but he was the #1 player in China. He showed up after the game and analyzed with them, and every variation they looked at was incorrect. Do you know why? 2 Wangs don't make a right. Okay, so what he should do is play knight to D2, which theoretically hangs the knight, but it doesn't, because the rook needs to stay behind the pawn. So if you go here, white can move his rook anywhere and then queen, or he could play rook check and then queen with check, which is, and it's still a draw, but okay, black's not better. And if you don't take the knight, now white's knight is pretty good. And maybe white gets some counterplay. So that was the last chance. Instead he played G4, probably recommended by Matt Larson, probably. And in fact, Matt Larson texted me, this is not a joke, and said, didn't Wang resign early? And I'm like, well, he played G4. No wonder you thought he resigned early. Knight D6, and he played Rook B8, which also isn't very good. His idea was to trade this pawn for this pawn. Once this pawn is gone, probably figured it was close to a draw because it's Rook Knight and 3 against Rook Knight and 3 on the same side.
How would it have still been a draw if they went knight D2?
It's not a draw, but white has good drawing chances because the knight's going to get active instead of staying here.
No, I'm saying if... Oh, I thought you meant it was still a draw if black took.
Yeah, because this position is, a rook, a knight, and a pawn for a queen. Okay. White's not had material. I would take black here. Black has a passed pawn. King's no good. The engine says it's equal.
Yeah.
Kitsune Cavalry subscribed. We send in the cavalry. Blah, blah, blah. When I needed my ad block most, it vanished. Okay. So instead he played G4. And now he played Rook B8 to trade pawns. He attacked the pawn. The pawn moved. He can't attack it on D4 because Rook A3 defends it. So he attacks it this way. Fine. And he got his position he thought he could probably draw because it's, so the mem shows me. Okay. And the problem is white just can't move here. White's king is ridiculous. He gets mated sometimes. Black's king can move all over the board. And the winning idea, there's two winning ideas. He did the one that doesn't win as much. Is to play rook g2, king h1, and get this knight to f2, which is mate. Mm-hmm. So he tried to do that, and white stopped him. But then the other winning idea happened, which I'll show you. Okay, king f8, king is safe. Here. Okay, now black wants to play knight d1 attacking the rook, and then hopefully knight f2 mate. What white should do, thanks for the sub, DS Panda. What he should do is play knight e4, so the knight can't go here. And the engine says black should still win because that's the worst king I've ever seen. That's not why it says he would win, because it's the worst king I've ever seen. But okay. Now, instead, he prevented the knight from going here forever, right? And then he said, sorry, miss. Okay, check and rook here. Now the knight can't come to f2 and give mate. Problem with this, stopping this, is he can't defend his f3 pawn, never play f3. That's the problem with g4. Pawns on g3, you could play f4. So once you play g4, this pawn's even weaker. So he just attacked it and there's no defense. Okay, and in this position, everybody was surprised. Everybody. All the GMs, because he resigned here. Just down a pawn with all the pawns on the same side. So a lot of them were like, what? Why are you resigning? And as I said on my video, I looked at this position with 3 engines. 2 of my engines said black is up 2.1, which should win. Stockfish 13 at depth 51 said black is up 5. So the engines are like resigning good, and humans are like, why are you resigning? Now, white has a lot of problems. He's down a pawn. His king is terrible. Black's king is perfectly safe. And this pawn's really, really weak. And he's down a pawn. He has a lot of problems. And he is losing with correct play. But you shouldn't resign here, especially with the tournament situation. And Hikaru, strangely, interviewed Giri after the games. And he said, what'd you think of Wang Hao's resignation here? And Giri said, frankly, ridiculous. Something like that. Yeah, so this resignation was early, but Stockfish 13 said good resignation. So I don't know. I would never consider resigning. I wouldn't think of it. Very complicated Futurama reference I just did. Yeah. So these 2 guys are running for president, John Jackson and Jack Johnson, and they look exactly the same. And Leela says, don't let their identical DNA fool you. They differ on many positions. And one of them says, I think that his 3-cent titanium tax doesn't go far enough. The other guy says, I think it goes too far, his 3-cent. The same thing, but they argued a lot. And yeah, great episode. Politics 101. That's one of my favorite lines. And then the guy disappears. All right, the next 2 hours, we're talking about Futurama. 4,300 viewers. Yeah, go Robo Nixon. That's right. He had a whole new body. I'll have a croque monsieur, the paella, 2 mutton pills, and a stein of mead. That's right. That's what the professor ordered back in the past. Yeah. They brought him a cheeseburger. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to go home just because, make sure the kids get to bed, or at least Archer gets to bed.
Mm-hmm. I can't get to sleep. I think about Nepomniachtchi. His analysis is too deep. All right, bye, sweetie.
Bye. How many more? Oh, I don't mind a hug, but, no making out on the stream. Ben likes to make out.
I like to make out on the stream?
Yeah, you tricked me one time.
When Zap Brannigan had to do lip identification with this computer to enter somewhere,
yeah,
he was kissing it, and the computer said, no tongue. So, yeah.
Don't forget to tickle. No tickling. No making out.
What about Hypnotoad? All glory to Hypnotoad. Yeah.
Where's that clip?
Yeah, she's making that up.
He's always.
I'm
likes
pure as the driven
PDAs.
snow.
He likes PDAs.
But I drifted. All right,
Okay,
for $2 trillion, that's how hard it is. What TV show had the line, "I'm pure as the driven snow," and the other guy said, "Yeah, but you drifted."
I mean,
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Then the guy who said you drifted, he hit the other guy.
Hit him?
Yeah, that gives you a good chance to get it.
Three Stooges.
Yes, yes, we're rich. Yeah,
I've won like $3 trillion.
I'm pure as the driven snow, but you drifted. Then he beats him up. Yeah. Three Stooges is correct. Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
moving.
before we do the last game, we'll say goodbye to Karen, and then I'm going to tell you a really long Three Stooges story.
Okay.
Then we'll do the last game. Okay. My favorite thing that ever happened in the Three Stooges. Okay? Yeah. My favorite. Don't forget your phone right here. They're fishing on a fishing boat, and they're on opposite sides of the boat. Okay? Curly's fishing and Moe's fishing. And their lines get crossed under the boat, so they're both pulling and nothing's happening. And Curly says, "Larry, help me, I got a big one." So he helps him and they pull, and Mo goes under the boat and all the way there, and they see him and they're pulling him up. And you've seen that it's Mo for like 20 seconds. And they're pulling him up, and they're like getting the water off of him, and they're trying to get him a towel. And after 20 seconds, Curly says, "This fish looks like Mo." It's obviously been Mo forever. That's my favorite line in the Three Stooges. Then Mo beats the hell out of them because, seems fair. "This fish looks like Mo." I didn't see that coming. Yeah. All right. Hooray for everybody. Mo is their leader. That's true. Yeah. Who's on first? That's not the Three Stooges. That's Abbott and Costello. All right. Great uncle. Then he died. No, terrible. No dying on my stream. The only one who can die is me. Yeah, I know you know. But do you know that I know that you know? The answer is fries. All right. We're almost off Chess TV. And also, Kramer got me off sugar. So that's good. I gave him 30% off the chess club because he got me off sugar. Do you have in-person classes anymore? No, but possibly next month. Right, sweetie?
What? In-person classes?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to first add back tournaments.
But I said possibly. No? She said no.
Probably, no, not in May.
Yeah. June maybe. Yeah. Can Nepo beat Magnus? Anybody can beat anybody. Yeah. Oh, all I do is watch somebody else's videos. That's all I do. Okay. When's Karpov coming? Whenever he wants. Niagara Falls, Step by Step. That's a great episode, too. You winning the World Open or Giri winning the candidates? Giri winning the candidates is infinite number times more likely. By the way, we are going to play in the World Open. I've already entered us in the tournament. I'll buy plane tickets and hotel reservations tonight or tomorrow. We have to figure out what dates are applicable. We already got the Chicago thing set up. Can MVL win the candidates? No. Are you going to Vegas? We're not going to Vegas because we're going to go to Chicago and we're going to go to Philadelphia. We can't, we have lives here. We can't just leave all the time. So, yeah, we're not going to go to Vegas for the National Open. We are going to go to Vegas just to have fun, but probably between July and September. We'll go for like 3 or 4 days. I'll roar at my opponents. Yeah. Was ice fishing terrible? Are the side events good? Yeah, they're all right. Yeah, that's not how you spell separate. That's why you didn't get into MIT. Do you have to be a GM to play in the World Open? Yes, except for one thing. Okay, last game. The game of the day according to most people, but not according to the people who matter. And I don't know which game is more important. Probably Nepomniachtchi's win was more important because he has the tiebreak advantage. This was a shocking result because, as it turns out, Fabiano, since he learned the rules of chess, has never lost with white in a slow game, ever. This is the first time Fabiano's ever lost with white. In ever. I can't say in 20. He's never lost with white. Unbelievable. In a slow game. Obviously, blitz, bullet, and rapid. Amazing. Yeah. Are you good at Bug House? No. Yeah, but I beat Fabiano, but I was white. So that's too bad. Yeah. You believe that except for one thing. That is correct. Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah. Okay. So, if you don't know who won this game yet, you kidding me? Okay. So, now in this position, when there was a game between Fabi and MVL, and it was a Najdorf, I said these are the two best prepared Najdorf players in the world. And I got a lot of crap on YouTube saying, what about Anish Giri? And actually, you could say Anish Giri, you could say Vishy Anand, and there was a fifth person, and you could just argue any of them are the best. I don't know. But if you didn't like him and MVL, then we got Fabiano and Anish. So Anish plays different Sicilians, and he probably didn't want to walk into some crazy Fabiano 1 million move variation. So he played E6. And probably Fabiano expected the Najdorf, but Fabiano knows everything really deep. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so he played this line instead. You can't play E5 because of Queen A5 check. So now you can play E5, so he stops it. In this position, Fabi played A3, which I guess is one of his pet lines. And Anish also plays the Sveshnikov. So after knight B5, black has two moves. And a lot of the games go this way, and we just transpose to Sveshnikov. And what's funny is when Magnus played the straight-up Sveshnikov in the World Championship against Fabi, he beat me straight up. Check, check, check. Can't get rid of him. Fabi usually played knight d5 and or always played knight d5. And playing the move order Anish did, he avoids that. You can't play knight d5 because the move order of this game, this is designed to avoid that. Right? If you play here, there's no knight d5. So you just play this main line. Okay, so Fabi didn't want to go into that because he doesn't play that line. So he played A3, preventing bishop B4. Another variation, which is possible, Anish would have played D6, is bishop B4, and you get this position. Okay, and most grandmasters want white here, but some grandmasters play black. Some, not many. Okay, so he played A3, and I guess he's hoping Anish isn't super prepared for A3, but obviously the move is shallow and pedantic. A3 is not, that's not how you beat the Sicilian. Frankly, terrible. Okay. Right, and you guys are easily confused, shocking, because you think if somebody wrote a book on an opening or made a video that they're the world's leading authority. A lot of times, if you read a book on an opening by a grandmaster, the grandmaster hasn't written a word or seen any of it. There's a ghostwriter, they pay him $500 to use his name. And if he did write the book, he's just using engines and computers and he doesn't care. Right? It's rare that somebody who writes a book on an opening is the world's leading authority, because then they wouldn't write a book on the opening. They wouldn't make a video, right? So people who aren't very good at chess, who aren't playing the top 10, top 20 in the world, they make those kind of books and videos. Good example, Ginger GM. He says, play this stupid opening, look how it wins by force. And it doesn't matter because he's not playing the top 10, 20, 30 players in the world. So you guys eat it up, right? So yeah, if Giri has articles and videos on the Najdorf, doesn't mean he's the world's leading authority on the Najdorf. Kasparov could be the world's leading authority on the Najdorf still. But, he probably forgot because he's old. Okay. That's correct about Gotham chess. Yeah. Yeah, people who tell you about openings, they just want your money. Unlike me, I would never want your money. Never. I'll show you how much I don't want your money. Terrible. Frankly, delicious. All right. No, Najdorf's dead and rather pungent, so he's not the world's leading authority anymore. You get a sub. You get a sub. You get a sub. We got to get to 3,200 somehow. It's not from you guys. Okay. Gotham Chess has a course on the Owens defense. Yeah. I made a series of videos for chess.com on the Philidor. And I knew the Philidor really well in 2011 when I played a match against Ray Robson. I was prepared to the teeth, and I drew easily. Then I played it against Sam Sevian, and I also drew, like a little while later. And then I don't know if I played it. I played another time, and I beat some kid in Chicago who's like 2,300. But I mean, I played the Philidor in slow-rated chess 5 times in my life. But I still made a 10-video series. Yeah. I watched those episodes. Not all of them. Boo, boo. The more you donate, the more money I have. Although I'm the only one donating. Boo, boo. Okay. Back to whatever it is I'm doing. Bishop e7. And they played very boring with white having the move a3 in, which is nothing. So black's come out of the opening pretty well. Yoka Primi subscribed. Hooray! World's looking for the Finegold defense? Probably Esserman. Okay, queen d3 is unusual, trying to get, Anish out of his comfort zone. Because if Anish did prepare for a3, he didn't prepare for queen d3. 1,000 centidues. Go Laszlo Damas. Yeah. Laszlo Damas, you did a good job a few years ago on the Chappelle Show when you predicted that Schwarzenegger and Shriver would divorce. I can't believe you figured that out. That was genius. Colmonosaurus gifted a sub. Hooray! You're the best. Anish is the best player in his chair? What? Yeah. Anish is fancy and schmancy. Okay, we're off Chess TV, so we have no viewers now. 3,300. Terrible. Yeah. I just lost all my viewers. Then Felix Frias is like, you have a lot of viewers. Had a lot of viewers. Polar Bear ABC, 1,000 centidues. And BC turns to AD. How you doing? Now, don't cut my hair. I'm growing it out. Let's see. Everyone's the best player in their chair. No. I asked one of the kids in my camp a couple of years ago, wasn't a good player. I said, are you the best player in your chair? And they said, no. Truth hurts. Man. Okay. Anish played bishop d7. Pretty boring. Good. f4. Put it in f. e5. Going from boring to exciting in one move. Now in this position, Fabi played a very anti-positional move, possibly still his prep. I would not consider this move if I was white. It wouldn't be a move I consider, but he played it, and the engine says it's good. So I'm guessing it's his prep. Yeah, I would either play knight f3 or knight b3. I wouldn't have white in this position. It's a Sicilian. Probably knight f3. But he took the knight. And normally in the Sicilian, when you play knight takes c6 with the knight white, that's not a good move. Okay, so black equalized pretty easily. Castled, all of his pieces are developed. Foothold in the center, open B line, a3 silly. The queen's not on the best square. And it's hard for anybody to do anything. So it's about equal. Finally, he castles. Takes. Bishop e6. Wants to play knight d7 and knight e5 probably. And or d5. Queen g3. Yeah, the queen's probably better on g3 than d3. Now, when I was watching the game live, I saw what the engine wanted to play. And I said, say what? And later, Nigel short tweeted, if Anish played the engine move here, which is h5, said, then they would have to get the rubber gloves out. And you guys don't know what that means, but I did. There was some noise. What happened here? I heard a noise, but I don't see something. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. That's not it. What just happened? I don't see what happened. Was that my phone? Is that what the noise was? Man, maybe it was my phone. Should have left my phone at home. This is a disaster. Let's see. What did my daughter say? Oh. Okay. Man, my son sent me 17 pictures from New York. Wow, these are cool. Man, those are great pictures. I wonder where he is. They're walking in the woods somewhere. Now they're on the beach? God damn. He's having fun in New York. Terrible. Foosball, frisbee. Man. Aw. It's his sister and her 3 kids in Spencer. Aw. Man, those are great pics. Man. So many pics. Okay. So, what? I don't know. I mean, he's visiting his sister in Brooklyn. So I don't know where the pictures were taken. Anyway, so what Nigel meant was, you know, Giri would have electronics, you know, where the sun don't shine if he played h5. Because no human would play h5 or consider h5. And the engine says that's the best move. Queen here, king here. Now, there's a funny example of h5. I think Ullmann was white, unless I'm wrong. But Fischer was black. I'm right about that. I think it was Ullmann, but I could be wrong. Fischer went to play h6, like here, but the h6 pawn was hanging because the g pawn was pinned. And then the other thing was like, oh, and then he just went to h5, which was horrible. I mean, just ridiculous move, but he touched move, and he lost that game. I think it was Ullmann, but I'm not sure. Could be. Okay. So knight d7, the point of bishop e6. The bishop has all these squares. The knight has e5, etc. Now, in this position, this was actually quite funny. Or was it this position or later? No, it was this position. Yeah. Black played rook e8, and I was like, what? But I have an engine, so I could answer my own question. And my question was, what happens after queen b6 check, king here, I guess. Yeah, queen takes b2. The c pawn's hanging, the a pawn's hanging. And after rook b1, you can't take on c2 because your queen's trapped. But you could take on a3. Now you play knight d5, discovered attack on the queen, and this is with check, you know, Zwischenzug, so white's winning. And Giri saw that, and that's why he played rook e8. Now his bishop's protected, so he can play check in here. And that's why those guys are better than you. I don't mean as chess players. They're better human beings than you. Well, I don't have any Perrier. Man, terrible. Frankly, delicious. Yeah, so that's why he played rook e8. Yeah. Okay. Who would see that? Super GMs see a lot of stuff. And it doesn't happen in the game. But, see, when Morphy beat the gawking rabble, they would play these bad moves that he saw were bad, and they didn't. Now, the same thing happens, except the super GMs see why the variations are bad, and they don't do them. However, you don't see it because it didn't happen. So then you might be wondering, why didn't he do that? And then you can't figure it out. Now that you have an engine, you can figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. And so I could have looked for 10 minutes and figured it out, but the engine took 1 second. That was much quicker than me looking at it. I'm busy. Okay, so that's why he played rook there. All right. Now he played king h1, which is fine. I like putting the king on h1. Typical Sicilian, motif. Queen b8, defending and attacking. And now, it's funny, you have b4 and b3, and the engine says they're about the same. Probably if you let it think forever, b3 is better. But he played b4. Maybe that's better, I don't know. Knight e5, that's why he played knight d7. Quadrupling on the e file. So you can't make that joke. Okay. And the position's about equal. The engine slightly prefers white. b5, good move. Rook c8, very good move. Never trade. Takes. And this seems to have helped black. The b5, rook c8 takes. Because this is all terrible. But Fabi wanted the d5 square. And then some. Because the pawn was on c6. That's why knight c6 is anti-positional. So he played knight d5. If black ever takes, he gives away the white squares, and white has the 2 bishops. And the engine wants to always play bishop f8. It's a little scary because you're allowing that at some point. So Giri played queen f8, defending everything. If you're going to lose one of your bishops for the night, you want to lose that one. This bishop is fantastic, and this bishop's blocked by a pawn. So now that he's defended everything, he wants to take on c2. So he played c3, and I think the engine wanted to play c4. And that's a very tough move to find, because black can play knight takes c4. And it says that white is better, but not much, after this sequence. And obviously, to a GM, this position's drawn. The engine was like, I like white. Then the engine thinks for it and says, all right, it's a draw. He likes white because white has a potential attack, and attacks work better when there's opposite colored bishops. On the other hand, these pawns are weak, so it's actually equal. Okay, but instead he played c3 because he wants to win because that's the tournament situation. Both sides have to win. And if you don't win the tournament, you don't play for a world championship. So you have to do that. Okay, he doubled up on the bubble up. Now c4 is reasonable now. Taking this is reasonable. But he played rook c1, which is very passive. Very strange move to defend the pawn in such a passive way. That's not good. Okay, knight g6. He wants the bishop. He says, you can't have my bishop. Plays another passive move. Bishop h4 is a good move. Queen has to move away. Rook c5, stopping this, pressuring this. And now it's clear, because Fabi played rook c1, bishop d2, he doesn't have a kingside attack. That's why he played f4. He wants to, get some pieces over here. But black has a lot of pieces over here, and white's pieces are here. So he doesn't have an attack. The only thing white has as compensation for his 3 isolated pawns is this knight on d5. Fantastic knight. However, the engine likes black because black has a good square for his knight too, and these pawns are hard to get at. These pawns not so hard. So black's better. Okay, he played c4. Okay, that makes the bishop a lot better. Defends the knight some more. Put it in h. Gives his king luft. Wants to play bishop g5. And he does play bishop g5. Okay. Now the pawn here, you might say double pawns. I'm low rated. I don't like double pawns. Well, Giri's not low rated. Giri likes that his knight has the f4 square and h4 square. And he could play g4 later. So this pawn, which does nothing, is doing a lot now. Protecting here, g4 is coming. So that's good for black. Stops knight f4. Okay, he attacks the pawn. He defends the pawn. And this pawn. Everything's defended. Rook goes back to d1, the half-open file. If Farnsley is here, he would explain about this pawn to you. And he takes the knight finally. He's had enough. He had all he can stand. He can't stand no more. Now, Popeye, the cartoon, traumatized me as a kid. And it gave me some wrong information. Popeye ate a can of spinach, and then he'd kick your ass. And canned spinach is the worst thing that's ever happened on the earth. I never knew when I was a kid, you just get fresh spinach, and it's frankly delicious. I just thought there was canned spinach. Because, what do I know? I'm 6, 7 years old. And I'm like, how does Popeye eat that crap? Right? Spinach is the worst thing ever. That's what I thought as a kid. And now spinach is like one of my 3 favorite things. Just not canned spinach. Not that. Spinach is frankly delicious. But yeah, horrible. So Popeye tricked me. Okay. Now, again, this is a Sophie's choice. Everything is bad. The engine really likes black. Black's knight is great. And this bishop is behind all these pawns. Terrible. Took with the e-pawn. That's the engine's first choice when I did it. Knight f4. Knight f5 is also, knight e5 is also really good. And you can see this is weak. This is weak. This is amazing. And these pieces aren't doing anything. So white has a big advantage. Okay. Now, what I read on the internet, we'll get to the key position, was here. This is what I saw on the internet. And they said, here Fabi made the losing move. So they don't like that Anish is cashing in by taking material and getting, and white's position is still bad. So Anish's technique here was wrong. He shouldn't have given up his A-pawn and traded all the pieces. Obviously, if you trade pawns and trade pieces, it's more likely a draw. And the people on the internets, they said queen c7 is probably a draw. Probably, and frankly. And the reason is, if you take on a3, and you can't take on d6. This is why Fabi didn't play queen c7. He saw this. I know he saw this. Rook takes f3 wins. Always sack the exchange. Obviously, rook takes f3 mate, and g takes f3 also gets checkmated. You're threatening queen f1 mate, queen g2 mate, and the engine announces mate. It's over. Mate in 5. And I'm sure Fabi saw that. The difference between what Fabi did and what this does is white can play h4, which, attacks all the key points and gives him luft. And the reason this is different than queen f2 is if black plays the same move he played in the game, queen e5, with the queen on f2, black's winning. The queen on c7, we have check and here. And it's a draw. There's nothing left. Everything's equal. Okay, black's slightly better, but it will be a draw. And I guess he missed that. I don't know. Probably in time trouble. Definitely in time trouble. So he played queen f2, which is very passive. And then this happened, and he's completely lost. There's no queen d8 check. So that one mistake, queen f2, sealed his fate. Now he's just lost. The bishop is terrible. White's king is worse than black's king. Black's knight is fantastic. Black's queen is fantastic. Black's rook is fantastic. And he's up material. Okay, so they trade. He threatens, come in, sort of. And black's like, all right, I'll go there. And this was very funny. In this position, the engine says these moves are like plus 1,000. And Giri played rook a2. The idea is, if you take the rook, then we give you a little check, we give you another little check, and we, probably I would repeat, and then we take the bishop, and you resign. So you can't take the rook. And when rook a2 was played, the engine wanted to move the bishop, probably, here or here, threatening mate. So after here, for example, if you take this, I play check, and then I take the rook. This is actually a draw because black has a perpetual. So after the bishop moves, you have to stop mate, and black is still winning. The best move is to go back, showing that rook a2 wasn't all it's cracked up to be. But repeating's okay. It's not a big deal. So after rook a2, Fabi played rook b1, another attempt to punish the back rank and force rook a8. So rook a2 wasn't his shining moment. It didn't work. Okay, unfortunately, it just repeated, so he's just completely winning. Yeah, and this king f7 has nothing to do with the king. It has to do with playing rook h8 check and winning. That's what this move has to do with, That's why the rook's good on a8, not on a2, because this is where you want your rook. And the engine says plus a billion. Rook e3, check, king there. He played rook here to stop this. If you play this, I can take it, and then I can take on f5. That's probably not good. But Fabi finished in style, knight g2. As in the famous game, God versus Damn. Yeah. And now, Fabi played his best move of the game. He resigned. That is correct. This is ridiculous. It's the most lost position ever. Computer announces mate. This doesn't work because queen c1 check. If king takes g2, checkmate with advantage. And if queen here, tactics 101, rook h1 check. Winning everything. So after knight takes g2, black is 2 pawns up and threatening knight takes e3, discovered check, queen takes e3, and obviously knight f4 check and knight h4 check also win. So the best line, according to the engine, not me, is to trade queens to avoid getting mated and play down a rook. And, Fabi's not going to do that. So excellent game from Giri, and now it's a 2-horse race. Giri and Nepomniachtchi. And unfortunately for Giri, over a year ago, he lost to Nepomniachtchi in this tournament. Never said that before. And that's the first tiebreak is head-to-head. So if they tie for first, Nepomniachtchi wins on tiebreaks and plays Magnus at the end of the year. So Anish needs to go 2-0. If Anish goes 2-0, Jan has to go 1.5-1/2. If he goes 1-1, you don't win. So you got to go 2-0 to put the pressure on him. Going 2-0 in this tournament, c'est pas facile. You can tell MVL that. Technically, MVL can win the tournament, but you have to, it's a less than 1% chance. And Fabi actually can't win the tournament. If Fabi wins his next 2 games, he cannot win the tournament. So he's out. So mathematically, MVL could win the tournament, but that would be nuts. So only Anish and Nepomniachtchi can win. And obviously, Jan being 0.5 point ahead and winning on tie breaks means he's probably going to win. Until he doesn't. Yeah. How come I don't play competitively anymore? There was COVID, And I'm playing in the World Open and the Chicago Open in the next 3 months. We were going to play in Foxwoods last year and they canceled it. There was no tournaments. You can't play competitively. There's nothing you can do. You got to stay home and cry. I'm good at that. Yeah. 2-2 is hard. 2-2 is hard against anybody. And mathematically, he's not doing good, but those French are good at math. Yeah. An interest. Oh, no, I'm no good. I never played in his own. State Park subscribe with Prime. Prime! All right, it's probably not time for a train yet, so let's get a train going. I think it is time for a train, actually. Yeah, Karen loves Foxwoods. She loves the World Open, and she's never played in the Chicago Open. That's at a very nice hotel with a very nice ballroom. So she's going to like that. So that'll be good. And we'll order food, and they'll bring us vegan food. And Karen will say, why do you give me vegan food? And I'll be like, oh, you don't want it? Better odds against Magnus? About the same. They're probably both about 40%. Etc. Mainly, etc. Let's see. Big money, big money, big money. No whammy, stop! $5. Thanks, Raj. Giri was ahead of Magnus forever, then Magnus beat him. So either it's even or Magnus is +1. And I think Nepomniachtchi has a plus score against Magnus. Anything better than the U.S. Championship in La Jolla? Probably Tata Steel was better. I mean, it wasn't called Tata Steel then. I played in Vikonze twice. That was nice. I played in a lot of nice venues. Yeah. St. Louis tournaments have a really nice venue with the chess club there. Yeah. If Fabi were still playing, well, he is still playing. Yeah, they all have about 40% chance. Yeah. 53-47 Magnus. All right. Go Foxwoods. Foxwoods later. Are you vegan for health reasons? I'm vegan because I'm vegan. It doesn't have to be a reason. You should all be vegan. It's ridiculous not to be vegan. Trainer 365 blundered $3? Oh, donated. I said blundered. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. You got to donate more money than that if you're going to make jokes that bad. How Karpov and Kasparov used to actually win tournaments by a lot because they're really good. That's how. Other casino odds on chess. You can vote at British gambling sites. Yeah. Everyone has 2 games left. Yeah. Yeah. Wesley Selby the next candidate? Maybe. What would Magnus do if he lost the world championship? He would kick an ass or two. He would be sad. Let's see. Chat's stupider than usual. No, I'm just kidding. It's the usual. Will Anand ever be in the convo again? No. Come on. He hasn't been in the conversation forever. Baltimore is annoying. All right. What? I'm not going to the National Open. Yeah, actually, Yasser thinks 82 Karpov would have beaten any Fischer. I don't agree with that, but that's what Yasser thinks. Would Raja win this tourney? No. Magnus retire? No. Ali Reza? He could. Yeah. No. Just want good games from the candidates. 86 Kasparov. 86 Kasparov's pretty good. Yeah. Fischer win 13-11. God damn. That was the score of one of the Kasparov-Karpov matches. I'm not sure why you guys always spell Fischer wrong. I don't understand that. It's not hard to spell. Yeah, Fischer and Morphy and Kasparov are all up there. 82-year-old Kasparov, Karpov. There is no 82-year-old Karpov. That person doesn't exist. There's a 70-year-old Karpov. The Bulls would lose to Kasparov in 86, but the 85 Bears would beat the 85 Kasparov. Top Bears. Zebra 17A subscribed. Thank you. Let's get a train going. They spell it wrong because of autocorrect. No, they just can't spell Fischer. No. 85 Tyson would beat everyone. He wouldn't beat the 85 Bears. The Bears. Which year of the Bulls was the best? I don't know. You know, this when they beat the Pistons finally. That was pretty good. Pretty sure Karpov's 70. I thought he had his 70th birthday already. Maybe he didn't. I thought he did. I like when the Hawks win. I live in Atlanta. You know. All right, we have 3,189 subs. And I donated some of them. So let's get to 3,200 so I can leave. CEC 4290 subscribed for 6 months in advance. Hooray. People spell wrong because they can't spell. That's correct. Why not Queen G3? I didn't see Queen G3. Well, this rook is attacked a couple times. So, yeah, that's wouldn't work out too well. Good reason. Yeah. May 23rd. Oh, he's not 70 until May. Yeah. Yeah. 69. So if you guys have good sense of humor, you should get a job at a fast food place. Because, you know, it's better than the job you have now, probably. And then call out order 69. 69. See? Mac Druid 111 gave 5 subs. Another train. We're almost at whatever, 3,200 subs. Yeah. Dankel 16 gifted a sub. Hooray! I do encourage you to get jobs at fast food places. Man, when I was a kid, I watched Alice, and I loved it, because, I was a kid. Kiss My Grits and all that nonsense. And on one episode, I think it was the Kiss My Grits woman, I think. It doesn't matter. It could have been Vera. It could have been Alice. Is her name Florence? No, what is her name? Doesn't matter. She went to the soda thing and put her cup there and got soda and drank it. And I was like, I said, what? And my mom said, if you work at a restaurant, then drinks are free. And I was like, what? So when I was like 6, 7, 8, 9, I was definitely going to work at a restaurant when I was old enough because I wanted to have free drinks. That's the way I thought then. Thinking wasn't my strong suit. Man, that really impressed me that you get free, stuff. At Starbucks once, I tip sometimes, and I asked this is like 6 months ago. I asked the guy, can we tip you in drinks, like buy you drinks? And he said, no, we get free drinks. So Starbucks employees can get whatever they want whenever they want, according to him. And it's free, and the management doesn't care. I don't know if that's true, but those drinks are expensive, and they're not worth it. But then Any Blue Sky gifted 5 subs. Hooray! Sid Aurora 100 centidues. Hooray! Go, everybody. J. Rob gifted a sub. He was robbed of his spot. He was robbed. All right, we broke 3,200. Bye, everyone. Free Perrier. Hooray, I have a great job. Free Perrier. You too. Yeah. Drugs are expensive, yeah. Kramnik was the most underwhelming world champion? No, I would not agree to that. The most underwhelming world champion was Fischer. He didn't play any games. Terrible. Dunkin' Donuts. You can't buy them in a grocery store. Dunkin' Donuts. You can't buy them in a bakery. Dunkin' Donuts. You could only get them at Dunkin' Donuts. It's worth the trip. That's a commercial for Dunkin' Donuts before you were born. What happened in the game on the board? White resigned because he's getting destroyed. Favorite vegan recipe? The food goes in here. Did Kramnik cheated against Topolov? No. Dun, 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 dun. See the Chicago Open. Hooray! Go Chicago Open. Traded cookies for food in the food court. Yeah. I'm the best. Nope. Nepomniachtchi's a half point ahead of Giri. You said the things about the things? The things! No. Why not Rook G3? That was like the only move I analyzed. Damn. You guys got to pay attention. Rook G3, check. If king takes mate, I already showed this. And then if queen here, rook here. Am I supposed to analyze queen E1 also? I don't know. How about Botvinnik? Botvinnik is the best. The brother of Botvinnik. The Liquid Courage subscribed. Time for some Liquid Courage. You thought he was flagged? No, this is move 45. So he was not flagged. I'm lecturing on Wednesday, but I forgot what I was... Oh, yeah. On Wednesday, my online lecture that I give on Wednesdays is going to be on the winner of the candidates. I'm going to do like a, I'll talk about whoever wins, and then I'll show some games from, his career. So I guess either Giri or Nepomniachtchi. Yeah, may the Schwartz be with you, musicians. Do you like South Park? Yes. South Park's a great show. Lecture. Who wants a sub? J-Rob wants to know who wants a sub. Samosas are thin mints. Oh, Samoas? Did you mean samosas? I can't eat mints, but I can eat samosas. Who's the best Canadian chess player ever? I'm thinking of three people. Eric Hansen wasn't born in Canada, but he's one. He's one of them. Igor Ivanov, who also wasn't born in Canada. And Kevin Spraggett, who was born in Canada and now lives in Portugal. And Igor Ivanov passed away a long time ago. I'm trying to think who else. Geza Fuster wasn't that good. Yanovsky wasn't so good. I think it's one of those three. Unless I'm forgetting somebody, which is very possible. Yeah. It's one of those three. It's not Blaustein. Hansen was born in California. Spraggett's a good answer because he won a candidates match against Andrei Sokolov. So that's a good answer. Not sure if it's right. Yeah. How good was Igor Ivanov? Very good. Yeah. I mean, I don't care if Bereyev plays for Canada and lives there. I can't consider him, Canadian. I just can't. I'm supposed to, but when I think Evgeny Bereyev, I do not think Canada. Now, Bereyev, when he started playing for Canada, I'm not sure how good he was still. Now, before, when he was at his peak, then yeah, he's number one. But, I don't know. I guess he still would be number one if he's Canadian. Yeah. Duncan Suttles was very good. I don't think he's as good as Hansen or Bereyev. Yeah. Ray Stone's an FM. I talked to Ray Stone and emailed him, and I saw him about 5 months ago, I guess. Bareva's is Canadian as Levon is American. Aronian? Aronian. Da da da. Da 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 da. Ross Perot was the best. What? Best what? Blaustein was rated 2,600 plus? I don't believe that. Ridiculous. Strongest player from Mexico? You mean ever or now? Carlos Torre was pretty good. Julio Caplan. Oh, he's from Puerto Rico. Wasn't that good anyway. Marcel Cisniega, not that good. Let's see. Then there's a guy named Holden something. Maybe Carlos Perdomo. I'm probably just Carlos Perdomo. I already forgot his name. Carlos Perdomo is not who I was thinking of. He comes here, so I got confused. Carlos Torre. But I don't know, maybe I'm missing somebody. Yeah. I'm probably missing someone. Go Hype Train! No. Aronian told me not to sing. That is correct. Yeah. I've played many Mexican players. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, Carlos Torre is the Torre attack. Eugenio Torre is the stronger Torre, but no opening named after him. Yeah. Da-da-da. Aronian can vote now. I don't think so. What's my best dance move? All of them. Best French player ever? Probably MVL. And Labordine was good, but probably not as good as MVL. Never heard of him. Caruana can recover. He can't legally win the tournament, so no. Yeah. Da-da-da. My favorite song, Overkill. Day after day, I sing Overkill. He can illegally win the tournament, that's true. The only way he can win is if Nepomniachtchi and Giri are thrown out for cheating. That's not going to happen. Strongest player from Uzbekistan? Gureyev's very good, but he plays for the U.S. now. And probably a couple more guys are really good. But Gureyev's a good answer. Might not be the right answer. Yay, I collected stuff or something. 16 subs, 100 bits, Papa John's. Thanks, Juvie Metal, for 200 centidues. Dun, 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 dun. Nope, I've never played Bassem Amin. Never seen him. Oh, maybe I have seen him. Maybe. I might have seen him. I don't think I have, actually. Why is there no Australian player in the first 100 top chess ratings? No. Kazim Zhanov. Yeah, Kazim Zhanov is better than Gureyev. I forgot about him. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good answer. Yeah. Strongest player from Vietnam? There's two good players from Vietnam. There's Le Quang Lim, and there's the guy whose name I can't pronounce any of his names. It's like NGOC is one of his names. One of his other names is Win, NG, UYEN. Then he has another name. So he's very good, and Le Quang Lim is very good. But it's Le Quang Lim. He's the greatest Vietnamese player ever. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. The only question that makes any sense is why are you not a vegan? How can you not be a vegan? What's wrong with you? Strongest Brazilian player ever? Probably Mecking. Who's the second best Cuban? So you mean Capablanca is the best? And then it would be Dominguez. Plays for the U.S. now. Surprisingly don't have GMs. I don't think so. Nothing's a surprise. Have I spoken to Hans to become a GM? No. We need 2 viewers to leave, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5. Best Argentinian. I mean, Larson lived in Argentina most of his life, but I guess you're not considering him Argentinian. Neidorf was in Michigan a lot on business. Argentina, I don't know. I don't know who the best ever is, or after Neidorf or whatever. Neidorf is Polish, but he moved to Argentina. Are you good friends with any of the GMs playing in the candidates right now? I mean, good friends isn't what I would say. Friends with Fabi, and I've never met Alekseenko. I've never spoken to Nepomniachtchi. He rated me once. We're not friends. We know each other. Giri, I have spoken to, but we're definitely not friends. Grischuk. Grischuk bet a lot of money against me when I played 1 minute with Alejandro. So I don't think Grischuk likes me because I cost him a lot of money by beating Alejandro 5-0. I mean, I know everybody except Alekseenko. I've never met him. The other ones I've met, I mean, everything's fine. But we're not having pillow fights or shopping or anything. No, I've never seen Mecking. Yeah. Who was my highest rated student? Atulia Shetty, Matt Larson, Daniel Fernandez. Is that his name? Man, that was a long time ago. He quit chess. Why Giri is funny? Why not? Does Magnus like you? I don't think Magnus thinks of me. If somebody said, do you like Ben? I'm sure he would make a joke. I don't know what the joke would be, but I don't think he ever thinks about me. It's not, so I can't say yes. Oh yeah, I coached Atulia Shetty for years, many years. When I started, he was 6 or 7, and I stopped when he was like 14. Most money I've won for a chess tournament? In the Kings versus Queens in 2011 at the St. Louis Chess Club, it was 5-on-5, 5 men versus 5 women. I got a $5,000 appearance fee. I won $4,000 as a member of the winning team, and I won $5,000 coming in second to Hikaru. So I got $14,000 for 5 days of chess, 10 games. That's by far the most. It's not even close. I won $5,300 in the Chicago Open once when I tied for first. I won $3,300 in the World Open when I tied for first. But it doesn't compare to St. Louis. And that was the best. Arjun versus Archer versus Ocean. I don't know. Draw. Yeah, 14,000. Yeah. What is the best joke Yasser ever told you? There's no way I could repeat anything Yasser's told me. I'd get kicked off of Twitch. Do you have a Tanlian roots? I've never heard of whatever you're saying. MVL isn't good, period. No. Do you still beat women? If I'm paired with them. Yeah. Archer versus Karen? Who wins in a fight? Karen. What's my favorite Yasser game? Ooh, good question. I don't know. He's beaten everybody. Yasser showed me a lot of his games, but I don't know what my favorite game is. They're all good. Will Donnie get to the elite level? He's already there. King D7 game. That is a good game. Yeah. Where he plays like, sort of a rat kind of variation in the Pierce Modern. Yeah. What games does Yasser play besides chess? He plays, Yasser chess. He plays Bughouse. He's played tennis. He's played backgammon. And probably other games I don't know. Did you smoke when I was younger? No. Nervous about COVID? No, not at all. I've had both vaccines and time to get out. Yeah, Yasser swears like a sailor, but not in front of you guys. In front of you guys, he's like, "Hi everyone, this is Yasser Sarouan. Pardon me, Grandmaster Yasser Sarouan. And today we're going to look at the game Fabiano Caruana versus Anish Giri." Yeah, but when he's hanging out with the boys and drinking, then then it's different. What's so cool about Switzerland? I like Switzerland. Yeah. Etc. Who are the smokers GMs? Half of them. Let's see, Yasser, Kramnik if he still smokes, which I assume he does. All the Eastern European GMs. Not the top 10, 20 in the world, the other ones. And so forth. Yeah. Who's the most bad-mouthed GM you've ever met? Like swears a lot or says nonsense? Fedorowicz. Man, it took me a while. It's 100% Fedorowicz. 100%. 200%. He would be glad that I said him too. He'd be like, yes. Man, I almost didn't think of him. Because, he's older than me, if that's possible. Anybody who's met Fedorowicz would be like, oh yeah, it's Fedorowicz. Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you a funny Yasser story that he told me more than once. Yasser was in an elevator with his friend. I don't know where. At a hotel, maybe. And his friend was like short and thin. He's like, 5'3", 5'4", and maybe weighed like, 130. And they're in the elevator, the door opens, and the most beautiful woman he's ever seen walks in with the most powerful man he's ever seen. The guy's like 6'5", and he's just muscles everywhere. And they're obviously a couple. And they come in and the door closes. Yasser looks at his friend and says, "Hey, you beat the shit out of that guy, and I'm going to take his girlfriend." And the short guy's like, "What?" And then the couple just laughed. I thought that was the funniest thing they ever heard. You beat the shit out, and then I'll take his girlfriend. That was funny. Yeah, I think he cheated. When you say it turns out he didn't cheat, that's, you don't know that. I'm going to say he cheated. It's more than 50% he cheated. It's not 99.9% he cheated, so chess.com leaves him with his account. That didn't happen. What do you mean that didn't happen? That's what happened. Yeah, Makoveyev was the greatest player ever, and then, I don't know, he disappeared. Truth hurts. Yeah. Do you know Julian Landau? Yes. Worst attempt at chess cheating I've ever seen. In Europe, in the Netherlands, I believe. I won't say who the cheater was, but there was a game between the cheater and Thomas Luther, or I guess it's Thomas, from, I guess, East Germany at that point. And they were playing in, I think, an open event, both grandmasters. The other player's better than Thomas Luther. And they found the better player at the bookseller reading an opening book of the game he was currently playing. And they told him he can't do that. He wasn't forfeited. They said, "Well, what are you doing?" And then he went back to his board and he won the game eventually. Not sure why he wasn't forfeited. He should have been forfeited and killed. That's a very strong player that I'm talking about, by the way. But I'll never say who it was. You'll never know. But yeah. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah. Why do chess players retire? Everybody retires. I think I will retire. Thanks, Coleman. What movie's that? I think I will retire. Thanks, Coleman. I think you said thanks, man, but I'm telling you it's Coleman, so you can get it. Come on, get the reference. Do it. If you're not sure, ask Hikaru. I had 2,300 viewers, now I have 3,000. I don't know why. Terrible. Nobody knows the reference I just made? I said Coleman. That should give it away. Terrible. I can't believe you don't know that. 3,000 of you, nobody knows it? Jesus Christ. Horrible. It is from a long time ago. That movie's over 30 years old, I think. It's from Trading Places. It's the first night, or it's not the first night. It's maybe it is. They have a party at his Dan Aykroyd's place that he took over, and the guests aren't behaving properly. And Eddie Murphy's getting furious. They're not using coasters. They're naked in his bed. They're spilling shit everywhere. And the guy's throwing up everywhere. So he tells everybody to get out. And that's one of my favorite lines in any movie. There's two guys that he met in jail. One goes, yeah. And the other guy says, is like yelling at him in jail. Then when they're at this party and he's kicking everybody out, the fatter guy, who doesn't say yeah, he says, it was a stone groove, my man. You're one righteous mother. And he says, yeah, get the fuck out. Okay. And the guy who played the fat guy who said that also played Bleeding Gums Murphy. Is it Ron Taylor? And he died. That's why he's not on Simpsons anymore, because he died. And when the party's over and the place is destroyed, his butler, Coleman, says, I'll clean everything up. Why don't you retire? And he says, yeah, I think I will retire. But thanks, man. How do you not know all that? What's wrong with all of you? Terrible. I've seen Trading Places a few times. We didn't see it enough. Let's see. This guy said, I got it. Give me a sub. Who said they got it? Terrible. Let's see. Eddie Murphy, Trading Places. Coleman Cooler. That's funny. I got it. Send me a sub. All right. Whatever you say. What did Eddie Murphy help them out? He's a sympathetic guy. Yeah. Now, you're from a broken home. Yeah, it was broke, so what? I've been on a really big boat. I mean, it sounds like Forrest Gump, but I don't know. Just because he said shrimp boat. Coming to America. Yeah, I can quote every second of that movie, too. Gifted a sub. Blah, blah, blah. Opening theory for movie scenes. Kill my landlord. Kill my landlord. Blah, blah, blah. James. I'm Rick James. They did help him. Can I gave you English? Health insurance? I've almost never had health insurance. Yeah. I probably had health insurance like 1 year of my life. Maybe. You drank Perrier because of me. It's poison. I don't think it's poison. I thought we was rat. Are we poison? I thought we was rat. I thought we was... What was the other group he said? I forgot. Damn. 48 hours. I haven't had any trim in 4 years. True. There's a new sheriff in town. Less inflammation than others because of your vegan diet and age. What? Let's have more sense than that. Yeah, I remember grinding my feet into the couch. Whoop. All insurance is a scam, statistically speaking. That is correct. Otherwise, insurance companies wouldn't be in business. Yeah. Didn't your parents have insurance? Yes. Probably had insurance when I was a small kid, but I don't remember that. I don't know. I'm sure they did. My dad worked for the state of Michigan, so I'm sure they had good insurance. Helps with inflammation. I don't know. Yeah. Insurance was 50 cents a year. Yeah, that sounds like something Grandpa Simpson would say. Yeah, probably true, too. All right, who am I going to raid? Video game pianist, Benjamin Bach, Naroditsky. It's got to be video game pianist. It has to be. I haven't rated him in a long time, and I feel bad about it. 3,204. Be More 71 gifted 5 subs. Hooray! Hooray! Bad outcome statistically. Yeah, that's like scared talk. Good spelling of coming. It's almost like the coming in Georgia. It's midnight. Why are these uploads coming so late? Terrible. God, is this guy trying to get like the dumbest person ever? Why can't anybody sponsor or make a properly produced channel for Ben? Man, that's so dumb. All right. I guess he's the keynote speaker at the Village Idiots Convention. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, man, people like to tell you what to do. People that have nothing going on in their life, no skills. Oh, you should do this and you should do that. Yeah, I'm doing really badly now. I should change what I'm doing. God, why is everybody so dumb? I don't know if Georgia's time zone's going to change. I don't know what the laws are or the rules. I'm guessing it's so stupid, the idea that it won't happen. That's my guess. Yeah. Why pick Roswell, Georgia? How do you not know who I am? What is this? Somebody give him a Phil Hellmuth hat. 1,000 centidues from GM Benjamin. Always play F6. I agree. 1,000 centidues. I got married, and I lived in St. Louis, and my wife Karen lived in Roswell. So she wanted to move to St. Louis, and she has 2 kids, and her husband are divorced before me, so she can't take the kids to St. Louis. So I had to move here, and we started a chess center, and so forth. I mean, she had a big house and everything, and I had like a small apartment. So she was going to buy a house in St. Louis. She actually had one picked out, but yeah, she couldn't move there, so I had to move here, and that's good because I think there's warrants for my arrest in St. Louis. Yeah. Oh. Wish I was kidding. Were you married while living in St. Louis? Unclear. We got married in St. Louis, and I was in St. Louis and Roswell. I sort of lived in both. I spent about half my time in both because I did a lot of work for the chess club. Yeah, so unclear. I live in Roswell. That's what I'm asking. Alpharetta or Sandy Springs? Karen likes Roswell more than Alpharetta and Sandy Springs. And, our chess center's in Roswell. So she likes Roswell better than those towns. I always thought Alpharetta was more highfalutin, but she prefers Roswell. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a 10-minute drive, so it doesn't matter. Frozen concentrated orange juice? No. You should invest in bacon, which you might find in a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. And then there's gold. But gold doesn't grow on trees like oranges. And so forth. Everywhere. Dun, 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 dun. After the guy says that you might find bacon in a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, Eddie Murphy stares at the camera like this. Where in St. Louis did you live? Yeah, I lived a block from the chess club, and then I lived behind the chess club. Yeah. What just got deleted? I don't do anything. I sit here and tell jokes, and you guys donate. I don't know what's going on. Mods do all that. Entertaining enough for me to study? Some of those games aren't in the database. I don't know. My games are terrible. $5! Hooray! My Hikaru rumor video was hilarious. It was? I don't know what you're talking about, but thanks. Now look at games I won. Those are good. I don't know. Game I beat Dmitry Gurevich, the 1994 U.S. Championship. The game I beat Nick DeFermi in the 1999 U.S. Championship. I'm just making sure they're in the database because some of my open tournaments, I don't know if they're in the database. Probably not. Yeah, one of my best wins in Europe is not in the database. From before you guys were born. My game against Ole Jakobsen, Danish I am. I think he's Danish. Or is he Norwegian? I don't know. He's Norwegian or Danish. I think he's Danish. I beat him in 1989 in December in the last round. That was a very good game. And it's the same opening as my game with DeFermian from 99. I didn't know it at the time. In 99, I played DeFermian. I went to a database later, and I was like, oh, I'm the main game. That was funny. I mean, if a game was played in an open tournament, chess-based might not have it. So I have to think of like really strong tournaments where they have the games. The game I beat Manuel Bosboom in Vaikanze. It was called Hogovens then, like 89 or 90. I don't know, somewhere around there. I was black, and then I'm trying to think my Vaikanze game was. Yeah, the game I won in the first round against Romero Holmes, the Spanish GM. I beat him in the first round, and then it was a great game. And then he ended up getting clear first with 8 out of 11, and I got 5.5 out of 11. And after like round 7 or 8, he went up to me and said, Ben, after our game, I thought you were a good player. Damn, truth hurts. That was a good game. Alfonso Romero Holmes from top, like Vaikanze, I don't know, 90, 89, not sure. Something. Let's see. There's a diamond next to my name. Why you put your cursor over the diamond and it tells you. Cheer 100. It means you cheered 100. 200 centidues. Can you show it? 200 centidues? What game am I showing you? I just named like 7 games. What are you doing here? I don't know which game you want to see. Where's the usual 5,000 centidues? I mean, those are your games. Obviously. You and Papa Finegold. I probably lost that game, and then you won. Probably I was black, too. The last one where the guy said, I thought you were good. Now I have to look it up, because fuck if I know. Let's see. I want to look at Mega Database, search, advanced, white, Finegold, Holmes. Is it Holmes? Maybe I should type in Romero Holmes. Maybe I should type in Romero. And I won. I think the game was 39 moves. I'm not sure. Ignore colors. No. Okay, let's see if they have him under Romero. Yeah, these guys, from Spanish-speaking countries have like 30 names. Yeah, okay, it found it. 1991. I thought it was 39 moves, but I'm not sure. Oh, it's 27 moves. Oh, I didn't realize I beat him so quickly. Yeah, that's one of my best games. Yeah. I used to be good, and then, old and stupid. Yeah, harsh. Yeah. This was in 91. King's Indian. I've played H3. I've played Bishop E2. This is my H3 phase. Yeah, and I like playing H3 in the Benoni anyway, so I was happy to see C5. Yeah, and I actually take both ways. Yeah. I had this position a million times. I had this position a million times. So I took this way. And he played knight. I'd never faced that move. I've had this position a lot by transposition from a Benoni. But I've never faced knight FD7. Obviously, if you play knight BD7, it's hard to play knight E5 because your bishop is blocked. So this way he can play this, he can play F5, and so forth. Okay, knight E5 takes. Took with the pawn, which is not good. And I played F4 because I used to be good. Really crushed this guy. King H1, man, I was good. I wonder if King H1's the best move. It is. I used to be really good, and then it's like Kasparov, except at a much, much, much lower level. I used to be really good, and now I'm horrible. And Kasparov used to be, see every legal move, and now he can't do anything. It's very similar, except, like 400 points better than me. Rook E3. All my moves are good. Yep. G4. Look, I would never play G4 now because I would just be afraid. But I wasn't afraid when I was younger. I just calculated like a mother, and then I beat everybody. Yeah, I mean, it's a great move. I'm just crushing this guy. Yeah. I mean, I used to be good. I don't know what happened. Old and tired and, no more, nothing to play for. Okay. This is a bad move. He should have played Queen G3. Bishop F4 is the best move. He has to play here, obviously. This is the best move. That's the best move. And it says I'm plus 8.5. Played here. E4 is one of the best moves. And he played Queen G6, and I think he resigned before I could play every winning move. Rook G5, and Rook takes F8, and Rook takes G4. Every move wins. So he resigned, and I think his flag fell. There's actually times of the game. It says he had 1 minute left, and I had 30 minutes left. That's one of my favorite games because I played great. I never did a game report. I haven't done game reports on any of my games from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So let's do it. Let's see if I'm worse than I thought. So that game this was the end of 91, because it was Vicon's, unless it was the beginning of 91. So I was either 22 or 21, depending on... Oh, no, I was 22 or 23, I guess. It depends on, something. So I know you can't see, but I'm not doing that for you guys. I played 94.6, and he played 43.7, and he won the tournament 8 out of 11. After he lost to me, he got 8 out of 10. So there you go. He didn't play well that game. I made 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, and 0 missed wins, and 1 inaccuracy. One player took the advantage and never let it go. Smooth. Yeah. Yep. I just played Magnus, the one internet game. Yeah. Gelfand won. I played well that game. I mean, I've shown that too much. Let's see. What else did I tell you guys? I Boss Boom, that was a great game. Man, did I beat the F out of him. There was a lot of F going on. And if I could use a computer, I could show you the game quicker. Ugh. Can't do anything. Get rid of this. God, I'm clicking on the wrong shit. Search. And then I think I was black. And when I say I think I was black, I was black. Bosboom played in a Blitz tournament in the Netherlands and beat Kasparov. So that was pretty cool. I guess my name's Finegold. I had to think about it. And I won, so black won. Yeah, this was a game where I took like an hour and he took all of his time. And he got the mother beatdown of all time. Of course, I can't find the game probably, so I can't prove it. Okay, there's the game. Also 1991. So it might be the same tournament. It should be Vikings, eh? Yeah, same tournament. How can that be? 1991. You know, it could be the year before. It could be their one was 1291 and this was 191. I don't think I won in round 1 and round 3. I don't think that happened. It might have happened. Yeah, this game I like a lot. I hope the engine says I played well. Because whenever I think I played well, I didn't. And then we'll do this. And then we'll get rid of this thing I clicked on accidentally. Why is Caruana playing so poorly? He's playing good. Lost one game. Truth hurts. How many times have you played Magnet? Oh, I already answered all that. Okay, yeah, this is a game I played also in Vikings, a 91, but it could have been the year before because they go over. Do they go over 2 years? No, they're always just in January. I'm wrong. So this was 2 games after? It shouldn't be because I'm black. I was white the first game. Hard for me to believe this is the same event. Yeah, Groningen is the one that goes over 2 years. But I think Groningen ends before January 1st, so I'm wrong. Just over Christmas. So yeah, I mean, it says I played that game in round 1 and this game in round 3. It's hard to believe this was the same tournament, but because I only got 5.5 out of 11. But okay, I played the line that I play against Bishop here, which is Bishop here. Almost every grandmaster plays c6, d5, or plays knight at c6. But this is what I played. Let me get symmetrical position. Man, I used to be good. What happened to me? Symmetrical again, except I didn't play symmetrical again. Put it in H. D5. Always play D5. So I want to play H6 before I play D5 so he can't pin my knight and put pressure on the D5 pawn. It's sort of like I'm white in a Ruy Lopez because you play H3 in the Ruy Lopez, then you play D4. And the bishop, does the rigmarole. It's very similar. He took, which is a very bad move. Oh, the engine says it's not very bad. All right. I mean, it's great. Bishop A4. Knight G4 threatening F2. D4 is a bad move. E4 is good. H3. And the engine doesn't like knight H2. It says knight H4 is equal. And after knight H2, he's basically lost. Always play knight F5. Scary to play knight H4 because, you get in trouble. Rook E6 is good. Getting out of this pin. Doing a rook lift. Never play F3. That's a very bad move. I attack the knight. The engine actually wants him to play this knight to F1. Not what he did. This is a very bad move. Played knight F8. Getting my knight over there. I played B6, so my bishop had some squares because, my rook's blocking it. Always retreat. And we're the same rating. We're both like 2470 FIDE. This is a 91. But, he's just completely lost here. Like, completely lost. I'm threatening G2. When I could calculate. Yeah, I checked, and then I took that. Man, I'm good. Yeah, it says he had 1 minute left, and it said I had 52. I used 52 minutes, so I had over an hour left. So the reason this is so good is now my queen and bishop threaten h2. So he can't take with the pawn or the queen because this is mate. So the engine plays e5, blocking my bishop, which obviously loses a queen. And the engine doesn't take the queen. It plays bishop here and announces mate because I got a lot of stuff here. The only move that makes any sense is here. And then this is plus 20, and this is mate because I'm threatening mate and mate and mate. So he resigned after I played knight h3, queen g3, and bishop g4. God damn. I mean, I beat that guy like he couldn't play, and we're the same rating. And it was like boring was symmetrical for a long time. I remember all those games that I played well, and then Karen just says, "Oh no, you're good, and you gotta try harder." And I can't play like this now. Let's play bad now. Yeah. Lack of meats. I was a vegetarian then. Yeah. Yeah, he beat Kasparov in a Blitz tournament. Yeah. Manuel Busbaum. I think his brother plays too. All right, let's see how bad I played. I mean, I'll see, but you won't. I'll just tell you what the answer is. I mean, it has to be high 90s, even if it's not. I played 98.9. He played 76.3. 0 missed wins, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, 0 inaccuracies. 19 best moves to 11. 5 excellent, 1 good, 4 book. That was an intense game. That's what it says. Intense. Yeah. Now I play frankly terrible. Lost the fire. Here's why I'm not good anymore. Obviously, I'm older and fatter and dumber. Okay, it's the new South Park movie. But the main reason is I was the most competitive person on earth, like I thought. And I would be, if I had a worse position, I would think, what would be better if I lose this game or if my opponent dies at the board and then I win? I don't think like that anymore, but I did then. And I wanted to win and play perfect more than anybody. I mean, I had fire in the belly. And I really wanted to play and I really wanted to win. I didn't want to play anymore. I like play because I can go somewhere. It's a night out. I was hungry. And I wanted to play. I thought I could be the world champion. And I was living in Europe, and I was playing chess everywhere. And I studied openings all day from books, basically. And on my own. And I was really hungry. You know, it's sort of like the Rocky story, you know, where, you know, Burgess Meredith is like, rah, rah, choking on my own rage. And he's like, yeah, I don't care. And then he's like, rah, I'm mad. Like that. Yeah. Friday Night Blitz. My opponent and I had a repetition. And when I claimed draw, my opponent said there was no repetition in chess. Yes. So whenever you have any issue ever in any chess game, ever, you stop the clock and get a director. You don't just say, oh, well, my opponent said blah, blah, blah. And that's your whole life, not just chess. When you say something and somebody says something else, you don't say, oh, okay. Now, I heard what happened over there. I was sitting watching. I was far away. And the reason you can't claim a draw by repetition in blitz chess is in slow chess, where you can claim a draw by repetition and reputation, you have to have a score sheet, a notation sheet to prove it. You can't just say it. And if you don't have a notation sheet, or the notation sheet doesn't agree with you, you don't get the draw. In your case, you're playing a blitz game, so you can't prove there's a repetition. So you don't claim a 3-4 repetition in a blitz game. You can't. Sorry. So even if it was a repetition, wouldn't matter. Now, Aronian's wife died last year. And she was about 2,200, maybe more. And she played Spencer in a blitz tournament in St. Louis, and Spencer won. And during the game, she was like trying to claim a draw by repetition, which you can't do. And it was never 3 times. Spencer would repeat, then do something else. But he did it a lot in different positions, because it's always repeat. And he won the game. And after the game, she was furious, and she told Levon, 3-time repetition, that was drawn, raw, or mad. And then a few minutes later, when he saw Aronian, Spencer said, it wasn't a repetition, and he says, yeah, I know. But, you got to just agree with her. But yeah, you can't claim it in a blitz game. Truth hurts. Yeah. So forth. Yeah, that was a real tragedy. Carnage, killjoy. I don't mean the thing, but how she died was... Because when she got in the car accident, it said, like, it wasn't... What I read, it wasn't life-threatening and everything will be okay. I mean, I got the wrong information there. Terrible. Yeah. Right. You can claim a 3-time repetition if you have a score sheet and it shows that you had a 3-time repetition. You can't just say I did. You can say whatever you want. You can say Trump is a good president. Doesn't mean he's a good president. It means there's something wrong with you. That's all. Yeah. I forgot both flags falling. Oh, that's a draw. You could agree to a draw in blitz chess. Insufficient material. Stalemate. On both sides? No. If one side has a king and the other guy has everything, and the guy with everything, time runs out, it's a draw. Then there'd be both of them. What do you think players get worse when they get like 40, 50? Why? Because old. You ever seen NBA players play when they're 40 to 50? You ever see baseball players, football players? Definitely not Tom Brady. The exception proves the rule. When you get older, you're no good. Mind goes slower, less good physically, less energetic, and you don't care anymore. When you haven't done something, you care. Like Ice-T, he cares now. And I wanted to beat GMs and IMs and get my rating up, and now I don't want to do any of that. I don't care now. I did it already. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to lose. I'm going to play 17-year-olds who are better than me, faster than me, drive on 24-inch chrome, stack paper to the ceiling. I can't beat them. Yeah. Terrible. Thank you. Vince Carter played at 40. Think he was better at 40 or 25? What do you think? The answer is fries. Man, the saddest thing I ever saw was Robert Parrish. I think he played for the Bucks. I think. It was it might have been Minnesota or Milwaukee. It was some team over there. At the end of his career, he was like 40, and he was like on the bench, and he couldn't play. But he wanted money. And I was like, damn, truth hurts. Watching Shaq be bad, that also hurt me. Shaq played for Cleveland with LeBron James, and he can't play. He's old. I felt bad because when Shaq was in his prime, god damn. My favorite video on the internet is Shaq pushing the guy to the ground, dunking the ball, and then like pushing him or throwing the ball at him. I don't know. Then as Shaq ran down the court, the guy threw the ball at him, and the guy got a technical. That was good. Shaq would just throw you to the ground and dunk. What are you supposed to do against that? Then Shaq got old and his feet hurt and he's old and he gained like 700 pounds. Ugh. Terrible. Yeah. Dudley, yeah. Man. Yeah. And Shaq showed that guy. He's like, excuse me. There's a very funny video on the internet of before a game. I think it was an all-star game. I'm not sure. It was before a game. Shaq's playing one-on-one with Jordan. And I mean, Shaq can't be stopped. He just dribbled and had his back to Jordan and just went in and dunked it. What's Jordan going to do? Score every time. Yeah, the tall guys are good at one-on-one. They had a one-on-one competition in the 70s, I think, and Bob Lanier won. The tall guys are good. Yeah. Michael Adams is like 50, and he's number 20 in the world. Okay, number one, I don't believe that. He's probably in the 20s. And number two, when Michael Adams was good, he was in the top 7 in the world. It's the same with Anand. Anand was the best player, second best player, third best player. Now he's like rated 14th, 15th. And these are exceptions. Somebody like Jan Elvest, he was top 5 in the world very briefly. And now he's not in the top 300. And he's the same age. Yusupov was top 10 in the world. Spielman was top 10 in the world. Nunn was top 10 in the world. Nigel was top 5 in the world. And those guys, they're not in the top 100 in the world anymore because they're, 50s and 60s. It's over. Karpov was the number 1 player in the world, and now he's 70, so he can't play. I know he's 70 next month. Kasparov is probably the greatest player who ever lived, or second or third, and now he plays in the St. Louis tournaments and loses to doofuses. It comes in like 8th out of 9 players. I mean, terrible. Yeah, you get worse when you get older, and you give up. Topolov used to be good, now he's no good. And truth hurts. Aaron Carter beat him. Who beat who at what? Jerry West? What? I was top 5. You were top at nothing. Yeah. I mean, do you see professional baseball players and football players and hockey players and basketball when they're 50? No. By the way, I saw a video today. It was the old timers game, baseball, in the, I think it was 81 or 82. Might have been 81. Anyway, Willie Mays was playing center field. And he was pretty young for that game. I think he was 50 or 51. Whenever he was 50 or 51, that's when the game took place. I don't remember what year it was. Anyway, the guy hit a fly ball into left center field. He ran really fast. And he dove and caught it and fell. And he still caught it. And I was like, God damn. That was a great play. And he was 50. And then I guess that was the end of him. Because it hurts when you do that. Truth hurts. Yeah. Gordie Howe. Obviously, you can always provide exceptions because there's 7 billion people in the world. So you could always find one person who's pretty good. And even then, they're obviously not as good as they were. It was like, oh, Korchnoi still good. Korchnoi was a strong grandmaster when he was in his 60s and 70s, but he was the top 5 in the world for 20 years. And now he's not in the top 100. I mean, and he's an example of, wow, how can he be so good? And I'm like, he's good, but if, 60, 70-year-old Korchnoi, but the 30-year-old Korchnoi, you take it out back. You'd say, who are you? Yeah, in fact, one of my wives, not Karen, drew Korchnoi in a simul. Because, Korchnoi was old. So, when Korchnoi was young, that wouldn't have happened. Terrible. Frankly. Anyway, you can still enjoy chess, and I still do. When I look at my old games, yay. Yeah. We have another train? I think so. Another train. Yeah. What about Hikaru? What about him? How old do you think Hikaru is? And blah, 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 blah. Another train. Let's get that train again. I'm not sure if we can have one, but let's do it anyway. We'll try. We can't promise to try, but we'll try to try. Go Hikaru. I always root for Wesley, but he's not doing well. Terrible. You're more successful now than when you were in your 20s, depending on your definition of success. Hikaru's old? How old do you think Hikaru is? What's your definition of old? Hikaru's 19 years younger than me. Damn. After 25 years old. I became a GM at 40. Gotcha, bitch. 25 plus is old. God damn. Anyone over 30 is old to Twitch chat Zoomers. That is correct. Ivanchuk won the World Blitz Championship when he was in his late 40s. Yeah. Do you have any hobbies outside of chess? Yes. Your keyboard's almost as old as Hikaru. You know, one thing that I like about, old and stuff is when you rent a car, about 30% of the time, they have a printer from 40 years ago. The ones with the whole, That's hilarious. I love that. It's frankly ridiculous. Yeah. Streaming's the best. Yeah. Yeah. All right. This stream is becoming silly, so let me raid somebody. Yeah. All right. See you guys tomorrow. I don't know when, but sometime. I hate reading him because his name is so long. Yeah. Typo is terrible. All right. Thanks for watching. I can't believe I went almost 4 hours. I was going to stream, 3 hours max. Don't tell Delugi.